Welcome. Straight off the battle bus, it's me. And hope you're ready for some action today, because I'm just going to be chilling, playing some Risk of Rain 2. And I'm going to be watching a nice long video, just hanging out on this beautiful Thursday evening. So, I want to preface this. I always like to start with the camera on full, ready to go whenever anybody else is ready to go, you know? So, oh no. How far back do I need to go? Let's see. Oh no. Undo. Okay, this is where I want it. And then it's going to be like that. But, I mean, it's going to be like that, and then it's going to be like that. But then it's going to be like that. Then it's going to be like that. You know? I wish I could just, like, hotkey this setting right here. That would be nice. I was circling my mouse over my webcam area, like you could see the mouse cursor. But, yeah, and then we got some Risk of Rain going on in the background here. But to give you some background, I'm going to go ahead and we'll pop that one back up, but it's going to be, hello? Oh, do I need to... Is it because of that? Or... What? It's not letting me... But what if I... You just... I can stream my game window within my game window. Nice, bro. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Fucking jeez. Jeez, OBS, don't scare me like that. So, the channel that we're going to be looking over is going to be not this Sonic Heroes video. That was the music that I was playing. But rather, we're going to be watching a Nick Bate Story. It's a 2-hour and 1-minute long video. A Nick Bate Story, The Grossest Man Online. The original Horrorcow. Horrorcow in this derivative is a derivative of lolcow. So like your Chris Chans, your Dark Side Phils, your Richie Richards, the fucking Wings of Redemption. That's the guy. So, but Horrorcow is just way more. It's going to be dark. This is going to be a dark one. This is definitely going to be a dark one. It's going to be gritty. It's going to be grimy. It's going to be like The Dark Knight. It's going to be like Batman's The Dark Knight. I say that like Batman directed it. And then this is by Cecil McFly. I think that's how she pronounces her name. And great documentarian on YouTube. Big video essayist. Just makes some really interesting content that I enjoy. So this is going to cover some dark stuff. This is totally in fair use, and there's going to be some mature and explicit like details given, but nothing I don't think that will get anybody in any trouble. Obviously, she's allowed to upload the video. It's a clearly documentary style thing. So anyway, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get this thing set up.
Maya Angelou once said, "When people show you who they are, believe them the first time." This saying is very relevant to this video's disgusting tale. We are going down the rabbit hole that is Nick Bate, the most disgusting man to ever grace the depths of the internet.
Hey nudists, I'm Nick Bate. I'm here with public service Okay, but you're proving my point. The pedophilia should not be illegal.
Jesus Christ.
Before we get into the video, let me introduce you to this video sponsor.
Oh, video
Today's
sponsor,
video is
no.
sponsored by Vance Global. So I actually almost reached out to this company myself, but they took the initiative to hit me up first. Buy a 30
We skip those
coupon
around
code
here.
Gives a combined 30% off initial or renewal subscriptions. If you want to get more information on this,
I wish her
go
video
ahead
were
and
louder.
visit the website.
Oh,
And they
Jesus.
have a lot of information there. Hope you enjoy, and let's get into the video. You might need to get a little f***ed up for this one. It's a doozy. This is a very disturbing subject, so keep that in mind as we go into this classic internet tale. Now, if you are new to my channel, I like to talk about internet lore, specifically individuals known as lolcows. The most well-known lolcow, which a lolcow is an eccentric person on the internet that can be milked for laughs, is someone by the name of Chris Chan. Chris Chan is the epicenter for almost all lolcow going-ons, and it
Yes,
isn't
he
any
is.
different here. But let's start from the beginning.
Dude, Chris Chan is such a
Early childhood.
fascinating
Nick
story.
Bate, real name Nicholas Boyd Stotzenberger, was born September 1st, 1992, in Pennsylvania. One item of information
my
to
neighbor.
note, Nick had horrible dental hygiene throughout his life.
Gross.
Nick claimed to be afraid of dentists because he was scared they'd slit his throat while he sat in the dentist chair. His poor hygiene was prevalent even as a young child. Nick grew up with his family, and in his 2009 autobiography, he described his family as terrible. In the autobiography, he describes his childhood as devoid of any interaction, as well as lacking electronic entertainment. There were also allegations of physical abuse from his father in his young age, abuse that he detailed to both his friends and his therapist. He goes over how he was homeschooled as a child, so he had very little social interaction, but he eventually discovered Homestar Runner, an online flash animation
Classic.
series. and soon
Homestar
discovered
Runner.
the
I used to-
Homestar Runner
I used to
wiki,
watch that.
where
Just
he
the
made
strong bad
many
stuff.
online friends. His obsession with Homestar Runner soon became an obsession with a cartoon called Bonus Stage, which then became an obsession with a band called They Might Be Giants. But back to Bonus Stage. Nick helped create a Bonus Stage wiki, and that's where he
Jesus.
met someone very important in our
That
story.
was rough.
A girl named Anna. He
That
writes
was-
in one section of his autobiography, "It didn't take long for me to fall in love with Anna, for real this time. She was fine with this at first, and even said she might marry me. Unfortunately, I told her too late, and she got a boyfriend. But I continued talking to her any chance I got, waiting for her to reciprocate my love for her. It was tough to get in contact though, because I only went to my dad's house every weekend, and sometimes there would be some circumstances preventing me from
Hold on. Oh, yesterday I was able to. Hold on. Maybe I need to click it in. this
going
one.
at all for months. And my mom won't let
Damn
me
it.
use her computer.
Huh. Yesterday I was able to use my play button and pause button on my keyboard, but that doesn't appear to be working. So if I want to pause it, I gotta tab out. Oh, that sucks. Alright. But that's fine.
Because she's one of those overly paranoid moms, blinded by the media, that thinks everyone on the internet wants to
Okay, well I can use
kill
my
or
spacebar.
rape you, despite all the irrefutable evidence that my friends
Anyway, all I was trying to pause it to say was that was a really rough first run. That was a really rough first run.
are actually who they say they are. He also describes in his autobiography parental abuse from his mom and her boyfriend. That might not be true, considering Nick is not a reliable narrator, but he said he put up with the abuse because he had Anna to look forward to. Eventually he went on Social Security and moved into an apartment owned by his aunt when he got older. The aunt, who helps pay for his livelihood, is named Joyce. So Nick's online presence began in 2004 in the Homestar Runner and Bonus Stage fandom. In 2004, Nick was 12 years old and go by the username Hagurumon, named after a gear-based Digimon. Nick meets Anna.
It's based alright.
When Nick joined the Bonus
name.
Stage wiki community, he began having a lot of e-girlfriends, or internet girlfriends, at least according to the Horrorcow wiki. But Anna was the main girl he met through his online interactions, and he would soon begin an obsessive, stalkerish relationship with her. Anna said that she was originally friendly with Nick at first, although weirded out by Nick's strange fetishes. Also during this time, Nick would join...
Weirded out by Nick's strange fetishes. Well, no shit, man. Why is that a point of just discussion with your friend Anna anyway? Like, you guys aren't dating or anything like that. I would be weirded out too. I'd probably end the friendship, but I don't know. When you're like younger like that, you don't really know any better. I don't know. So...
DeviantArt, a website used to share artwork that people created, where he also went by the name Hagurumon, and created poorly drawn pictures of him and his friends for a comic he would call Coffee Crew. Nick would spread his disgusting self all over the place. And one thing to note as we go further, Nick
I accidentally
types
picked
a
up
fake
that Rusty
Canadian
cube.
accent. I don't know why, but
Oh yeah, he does.
He purposely wants to seem Canadian online. Alright, chats with Anna.
You'll see.
Over the course of Nick's friendship with Anna, they had many strange conversations. Apparently Nick saved every conversation he had online in chats, and emailed the transcripts to himself. He did upload a few of these to his own Wikipedia page. The first chat he uploaded was from April 9th, 2006. This was the first conversation he had saved between him and Anna. The two mainly talked about simple things. There's some flirting, it's very awkward preteen talk. But something arises in this conversation that will be brought up even as Nick grows older. Nick likes butts and anal and thinks vaginal sex is gross. He really hates vaginas, and he has said on occasion he is not into women past the age of puberty because their vaginas open up. He would prefer to sew up a woman's genitals if he could, and just focus on their butts. It was very awkward and had some tidbits of the atrocities that we will experience later on, but nothing that would set off alarms for Anna at the time of what Nick would become to her in the future. Nick would begin posting his chat logs, not all of them, but a few. He also would add info about people he interacted with to a personal Wikipedia. This Nick Wikipedia was created in June of 2007. The next chat Nick would upload to this wiki would take place a week after opening Wikipedia, July 17th, 2007. This conversation isn't between Nick and his victim, and instead him and someone else unknown. Despite...
Somebody's calling me. Hello?
You are Josh.
Oh. That was one of those calls, huh? Motherfucker.
This. In the conversation, he tried to continuously get the focus to be about Anna. He's a man obsessed. He posted another conversation that took place August 15th of 2007, where Nick focuses on butts and butt sex in strange ways. But this would still not be the main dish of what got Nick placed in the first true classic Horrorcow. Exact dates of events are not perfectly known, such as when Nick moved out on his own, but a really important date to note that Nick remembers clearly is August 23rd, 2008. This is the day when Anna, the love and obsession of Nick Bate, blocked Nick on every account and never unblocked him. She was done with Nick's creepy behavior. This did not deter Nick from obsessing over Anna. It only made it worse, and we will go over that creepy behavior in a moment. Nick tells about this in his autobiography, writing,
"That wasn't the only area of my life that caused me great stress. On top of school and child abuse, Anna started to gradually hate me more and more. I started out being like her best friend. but over time she began to yell at me and block me for a few days every time I told her I loved her. Even after she broke up with her boyfriend, mind you. Then one day, August 23rd, 2008 to be exact, she finally had enough. I'm not sure what exactly triggered it, but she decided to block me forever. Then she began writing on her blog, or Twitter, or whatever, about how I'm creepy and should kill myself. And her friends joined the Nick hating by directly telling me to kill myself.
Don't feel too bad for him. This is where we will go through the chat logs that got released in 2011 on a Horrorcow board when Nick was discovered. These are the chats that caused Anna, a young woman who just wanted to talk nerdy fandom shit online, to go into hiding from Nick. The exact date these conversations went down are unknown, but we will go through them. The following is a rereading of the transcript between Nick and Anna. These are in no particular order.
Who was it?
I'm already seeing some
come
of
on,
this.
I'm getting excited.
Yeah, right now. But once I tell you, you'll think I'm a I mean, I kinda am, but still.
It was Amber, wasn't it?
Fuck.
Maybe?
Are you being serious?
Yeah, she kind of coerced me.
What does that mean?
Well, like, we always talked about what me and Joe are gonna do sexually, and then eventually Amber wanted to do sexual things, and yeah. One day she was just like, "Welp, I'm gonna suck your penis."
Wait, how old was she?
She's 9 now, so
That's
I
fucked
don't know,
up.
8 maybe?
Jesus
Yeah, she's
fucking
pretty
Christ.
fucked up to be a rapist at 8. Yeah, not my best moment.
Damn, you're f***ed up.
She started it. Well, Amber doesn't
That's
know
so
how to wipe,
fucked,
so
dude.
when I went
That is so fucked. Oh, fuck. It just gets so much more fucked from here. Jesus.
to lick her butt, there were feces everywhere. So I just licked the cheeks instead.
What?
What?
You licked your 8-year-old and a half-sister's shitty butthole?
No, just the cheeks.
I like the
lick
impromptu,
the hole
involuntary
because
gag.
Which sucks because I want to lick the anus, damn it.
Yeah, but your 8-year-old half-sisters?
Well, I didn't have anyone else.
Dear God.
So yeah. Oh, that's right. I've had my anus licked too. It actually feels pretty good, but I still prefer to do the licking myself.
Who the hell did that?
The way that the narrator read it, it was kind of like the iDubbbz, like, "Hey, that's pretty good." Sorry, this is not a good time to laugh. You shouldn't laugh. It's not a time to laugh.
Another conversation between the two read,
Yeah. I often wonder what color her anus is, because, some are pink, some are brown. I think there's purple and white and red, too.
What?
What?
That is gross.
Not
Legendary
really.
item.
Anuses are my favorite body part.
Ew.
Although it is also fun to try to picture her whole butt, too, because, she has those wide hips, and also, she once told me she has a scar on her butt from sitting on broken glass. Also, she has acne on her boobs.
Ugh, ew.
What? I like acne.
You're gonna
Gross.
pop them while you screw her?
No! But if they look enough like a nipple, I might lick them or
What
something.
the
I don't know.
fuck?
Oh my God, that is disgusting.
Absolutely
You don't approve
revolting.
of any of my fetishes.
What? Acne?
All of them.
I don't even know what other fetishes you have.
Oh well, you don't know all about all the
About-
ones.
Well, that's okay, but you're obsessed, and I don't get why you don't like vagina.
Because they're gross.
Anna would leave him after this. but
Because
Nick
they're
would
gross.
not leave her alone. Also around this time, we were in 2008,
vaginas.
Nick would go on Skype with people to defend pedophilia. The recording of this call would be released during the 2011 Cow Board discovery of Nick. In this Skype call, Nick argues the legalization of pedophilia.
Gross.
Okay, but you're proving my point.
Who the fuck? I've never
pedophilia
even
should
heard
not
of this
be
guy.
illegal.
What the fuck?
It should.
it is
It is
yet another
illegal.
one.
It is.
How have
Yeah,
I not
I know,
heard of this
but
guy?
Get prosecuted for it. They get thrown in jail for
That
it.
is what I'm saying, though. It's a stupid law.
He said one thing that will be foreshadowing for the future.
They're going to use this information against you, Nick. You do realize this.
how on earth could this possibly be used against me when I'm not going to have a job?
How do you
Or-
know you're not gonna want to get a job? You someday you might change your
How
mind.
do you know you're not gonna want to get a job? Sorry.
People are going to look at this and they're going
No.
to call the cops.
No, son, I do not.
Buckle up, Buttercup. We're in for a ride. But just most important to note here, Nick defends pedophilia while also backpedaling that he never did anything with the child.
Like I said, Nick, if you strongly believe that this is what should happen, then go out into the center of the town with a sign and see how people look at you marching around asking to have sex with kids.
But
Watching them.
I don't.
Whatever your kink is, I don't.
But I'm not actually having sex with kids. I just approve
you
of
think it should-
pedophilia. What is?
It's bad enough that you think it should be legal.
There's a consensual incest, sure.
Oh my
Jesus
god.
Christ.
A lot of Nick's antics when he was first discovered were written off as trolling because Nick would claim that it was. But remember the thesis of this video? Put a pin in that forever. Nick would soon venture outside of his fandom wikis and personal instant messaging, and in March 2009 he would join Twitter. Throughout the years
I
of
hate
Nick's
that fucking
online
laser.
activity, he would post heinous stuff to his Twitter, but most of it, again, would be written off as trolling. Nick would soon then start a live journal blog, and on August 14th, 2009, he would post a blog entitled, "My Bedroom Door Needs a Lock." The journal involves a list of things Nick noticed in his room upon returning home from staying with his biological dad, or B-Dad as he refers to people of his biological
B-Dad.
family, or B family.
Come on,
The
B-Dad.
first among the list is him noting that his bag filled with women's clothing was gone. Nick is a crossdresser. Did I mention that? But the next point in the journal is a point of interest to show the insanity of Nick's obsession with Anna, and it reads, 2. As if I wasn't already distraught enough over not being able to cross-dress anymore, I later noticed that my pillows had been replaced. Apparently my aunt and grandmother thought they were being nice by throwing out my old, dirty pillows for new, clean ones. See, for the past few years I've had this special pillow that I basically pretend is Anna and cuddle with. You know, just until I can cuddle with the real thing. Plus I roleplay with it and do the voices for both
Ew.
me and her. Of course I
Ew.
still do the latter even without the pillow, but still. Anyway, dude, throwing out the Anna pillow is massively uncool. By doing it, you're wiping some of the history of me and Anna's relationship from existence. Like the time my aunt changed a letter in one of the letters Anna sent me. I now carry all Anna-related artifacts on me at all times to prevent this from happening.
All Anna-related artifacts. Wow. Wow. Like something out of like fucking Metroid. Like at the end of Metroid Prime. You gotta go on that like fetch quest to get all the MacGuffins. And you have to collect all the Anna-related artifacts. Holy shit. This guy is... I mean, we're not even long into the video. Like, this is wild. This is wild, dude. This is a wild ride. This is a roller coaster ride I was not ready for. Like, I watched like the first couple minutes like yesterday night, and I was like, all right, cool. I think I have an idea for what I'm gonna do on stream. So then I started like, so then I put the phone away, and I didn't know it was gonna go this crazy. I didn't know the story was gonna go this crazy already. Like, we're already like 0 to 100. So.
Happening again. Needless to say, I cried for hours and I'm still crying on the inside. And the new pillow isn't helping by being a crappy cuddler. Sigh. Nick's reach would spread further when on November 11th, 2009, he would start his first YouTube channel, Dr. Nicholas Bate. We will get to the content of this YouTube channel as well as his other channels as we proceed. 9 days after this, Nick posted a live journal titled Drama on DA, where he explains he is starting a blog specifically to focus on Anna. It It has been over a year now since Anna has blocked him on all accounts. The journal entry involved someone named Caleb insulting Anna in relation to Nick and her friends coming to defend her. This is just simple, small DeviantArt drama and not too interesting, but it is insane he has a blog focusing on a girl who wants nothing to do with him. He would write another journal entry about Anna on December 11th, 2009, about how he was optimistic that even after being blocked for over a year, Anna would still come back to him. He made another journal entry on December 19th about Anna, where he wrote, "Memories." So I'm reading over my 200 plus logs I saved from conversations with Anna, and I've gotta say, I was pretty annoying back then. Like in late 2006/early 2007, I was constantly reminding her she was supposed to call me. Eventually she finally did, twice. And it seems like most of her conversations have at least one instance of me asking her to marry me or play PS2 naked while I watch and jack off to it or whatever, and her just saying maybe, all mundane like. She probably thought I was annoying too, but just didn't want to say it. Then I began wondering, how long did this go on? Was I still like this in August of 2008 when she blocked me? Could this have been the reason? Of course I've changed now, but I assume that she still thinks I'm like that. But damn, how can I prove I've changed after being annoying for so long? He continued to write journal entries about Anna till 2010, but on February 13th, 2010, he finally uploaded a video to his YouTube channel entitled "A Video Tour of My Room." Before we get into the contents of the room tour, one detail about Nick that is extremely disturbing is that Nick does not like to bathe, and so he rarely does. There are a collection of tweets between 2009 to 2010 of him describing feces and semen caked onto his body that he did not want to wash off till he was forced.
Gross.
Another note to make in these 2010 tweets, Nick often talked sexually about his underage half-sister, and this will become relevant as the story unfolds. But back to the hygiene.
Dude,
he does not brush his teeth to the point his teeth rot and fall out. And when he described his bathing habits, he merely...
Somewhere along the way, I used to be pretty good at this game, and somewhere along the way, I have just lost the plot, man. I've lost the plot. Also, did you see those teeth? That was crazy. Hold on, let's back it up. Like,
teeth rot and fall out.
ew, Jesus Christ, look at those chompers.
And when he described his bathing habits, he merely... Well, okay. In 2011, Nick replied to a thread where he detailed his bathing ritual, and this reply read, "No, I use soap and shampoo and stuff. The thing that makes it a pseudo shower is that I don't actually get in the tub. I keep my pants on and crouch down, leaned over the tub so that when I wash my hair, the water and shampoo drain into it." So he never gets in the tub or washes anything but his hair. So on to the room tour. In the video, Nick waddles around out of breath for 9 minutes as he goes through various things in his room. Most seem normal, except he has multiple shrines towards Anna in the room.
There's the wall of Anna. Sometimes I put other things on it. Right now I have drawings of coffee crew characters. Here's another.
Dude, he's like a cartoon character. Well, like way worse. He's way worse than any cartoon character.
This has... Captain, get out of here! Alright. This has letters that Anna sent me in the mail and stuff. And then envelopes that they came in. Yeah.
That's so creepy.
There's a Lincoln CD she sent me. Another letter over here. Yeah.
And you wonder why this girl wants nothing to do with you. Like, holy shit. Like, how do you lose the plot so fucking hard? How do you become this person? You know? How do you get to be this person? I just don't understand it. Like, at what point? Like, at some point, like, something's got to give where you just look at yourself and you think, like, everything I say and do is, like, and don't do, it's, like, fucking absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely revolting, you know? Like, I've gotten pretty far down the totem pole, you know, of being, like, shitty. But, like, every now and then I hit, like, a certain bottom and I'm like, whoa, all right. Let's reevaluate here. Let's restart. Let's hit the refresh button on that one. You know, but like this guy just never even, that kind of thing just never even occurred to him. Just never ever. Never a point of self-reflection or anything. Like, I mean, he might seem like it sometimes where he's like, I was super annoying back then. Like, no, dog. Like, like, you look at the past, but you don't look at now. Like, he's still the same, bro. You're not even cross-referencing that shit. Like, what the fuck? Oh, that was a good dodge. Fuck, I need to find the right time. Okay, there we go.
Is that everything? I don't know if that's everything.
He also goes into his bathroom and shows off various things.
Dude, the moment I tab back in and unpause, just boop, I'm dead. I had no fucking hope on planet Earth for that one. Whew, that was a good one. That was a good one. Holy fucking shit. Christ almighty. My brothers in Christ.
Things he likes to stick up his butt.
Here's a bathroom. There's a toilet. There's a plunger that I use as a butt plug. Here's
Ew.
some baby oil that
Why
I
do you
use
say
as a
these
lube
things?
for jacking off with, or for putting things in my butt.
By the end of it, he begins to make strange noises.
Yeah.
What the fuck kind of noises are those? They like sound almost sexual in nature, but like something about them is just kind of weird. Just because he goes from, yeah, and then he's like, oh, yeah, and then he's like,
On February 13th, 2010, Nick posted to his journal complaining he can't see Anna for her 17th birthday. 2 days later, Nick did a tour of his father's trailer that he stays in and calls his internet house. This meant that Nick is able to access the internet while there. In this video, he was actually surprisingly normal.
You know, this is another...
hey, he's
Nick
smoking a
Bate
cigarette
production.
too.
And
Oh wait, I don't want to have anything in common with this guy. Fuck, man, if there's any reason to quit smoking, it's seeing this guy. It's seeing this miserable, degenerate piece of shit doing what I'm doing.
today I'm going to give you a tour of the trailer, I guess. I don't know. Okay.
And there was no talk of Anna. He posted a video 2 days later going over his chat rooms and his comic, but nothing of interest was there. Nick's online footprint is bare for the next month, but he uploaded a video on March 21st, 2010 titled "The Booby Dance Gone Horribly Wrong." Apparently Nick had a famous sexy dance in high school and was recreating it. But the whole thing is a pathetic display where Nick overreacts to everything in an attempt to be funny, I guess. My notes for this video read, "Fat tits" and "so pathetic." One thing to note, Nick takes a sip of coffee in this video and winces as if in a lot of pain.
The goofy music is perfect. The goofy music is perfect. The like Banjo-Kazooie music in the background. Cause like this is just one weird instance in like all of like this guy's antics where this is like the only time where a tame word like antics would fit, because he's just doing some like, whoa, I'm a wacky dude.
The video he uploaded the next day may explain why he winced. This video was titled "The Horrors of Nick's Teeth," where he shows off the rotting monstrosity happening in his mouth.
Oh my god.
The next online activity happened March 24th with another YouTube upload titled "Chihuahua Faces the Wrath of Ice Prince Akagi, Lord of Darkness," where we learn that Nick is not only cringy, but also doesn't do anything all day besides play Pokemon and wait for Anna, who he refers to as his wife.
Pretty much just my entire life is like just kind of hanging out in my room, waiting for internet access, or waiting for, you know, my wife to marry me and stuff.
Waiting for my wife to marry me? Come on, dude.
Months pass, and the next update we get from Nick is May 5th, 2010, when he posted a journal entry entitled Another Vacation. In this entry, we find that Nick's sort of job is fixing apartments for his aunt. The same day as this, Nick posted a video entitled Skitty and Captain Play with a Ball, where he and his half-sister, who I will not name due to what will be discovered later and will either refer to as half-sister or AO, play with his cat.
Aw, Skitty. Aw, Skitty. Aw, Skitty.
Nick continued to keep track of Anna publicly. On March 25th, he updated one of his blogs, writing, "Meh, nothing really news going on, but I wanted to make a post anyway. Apparently Anna has a cold or something, but as far as I know, she's okay now." He writes about her the next day as well, in a journal titled, where Nick goes into detail on how he wishes he did not have to be single, but it would be unfair of him to date someone now, because he knows in the end he will end up with Anna. He writes that he needs a temporary girlfriend, just till Anna loves him. On June 18th, 2010, Nick decided to reach out to Anna, nearly 2 years after she went no contact. He included the correspondence in a journal the next day, called the SMS Titanic. This is what Nick wrote to Anna.
"Hey Anna, it's me, Nick Bate, or Stoutzenberger. Whichever. But yeah, it's been a while, so I was wondering if you'd want to talk or whatever. I mean, not much has changed with me other than I started listening to new bands. JOJ, Scarling, RBF, you know. Read the other 2 books you told me to, too. Loved them. Also been playing a lot of Pokemon and Final Fantasy VII. You should play the PC version. Painting my aunt's apartment for money, etc. Plus I'm less annoying, so yeah. I'm curious as to how you've been doing, so I guess give me a holler. See ya." Wait, why did I say that when this is a text and not live?
Instead of Anna responding, one of her friends, going by the alias Miles Edgeworth, decided to confront Nick. The following is a reading of the conversation. Miles Edgeworth writes,
"Never, I repeat, never text Anna again, or I swear to God I will chop your balls off and feed them to you. Okay?"
What?
You heard me, or are you illiterate now?
No, I'm literate, but why can't I text her?
Because she doesn't want you to. It upsets her. If you really want to say something to her, say it to me and I'll tell her.
I didn't even say anything bad.
I know, but she doesn't want to hear from you. You creep her out, possibly because you posted private info about her on your site.
Literally the whole thing was all chillax, like, "Hey, what's up?" What?
I understand that, but when someone hates you, you don't write to them saying, "Hey, what's up?" And trying to do so will not make her like you.
Well then what on earth will?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She will hate you until the day she dies, and nothing you do or say will ever change that. Every time you try, she just hates you all the more for it.
No.
Yes, seriously, listen very, very closely. She hates you so much, she wants to kill you in a painful manner, okay?
I'm aware of this.
And the only thing that will change is if you back the off.
I don't think you realize that people can change their minds about such things.
As a Canadian, it makes...
So she hates him so much that she would love to kill him. Like, hates him that much. And he's like, "Ha, I'm aware of this." Like, bro, I would say you don't have swagger, you know? You don't have game, but like that's not even several multiverses within like your reach of even wrapping your head around with the concept of like Jesus fucking Christ. Like what kills me is like what makes you so fucking confident you're gonna end up with this girl one day. Like, she wants you dead. She doesn't like that you exist. just don't. I don't get it.
Makes me want to slam your fingers into the trunk of a car every time you say a boot.
Why? Canadians don't even say about?
The conversation goes in a back and forth of Miles trying to convince Nick to leave Anna alone. But Nick is persistent that Anna will eventually realize she loves him back, and they will live happily ever after. Miles Edgeworth also informs Nick that Jessa, Anna's friend, also hates him, and was only nice out of pity for Nick. After a whole lot of back and forth and Nick not agreeing to leave Anna alone, the conversation ends with Miles.
And dude, if you don't want Anna to keep ruining your life, leave her alone. It's that simple.
If I left her alone, it wouldn't fix my life. The only thing that can fix it is if she loves me.
You're very stupid.
Irrelevant.
No, it's very relevant.
No, it's a moot point.
Because you still believe she will someday love you. You are just that stupid.
Because she will. It has nothing to do with intelligence or stupidity. It's just the truth.
I give up.
On July 31st, 2010, Nick uploaded a video that is haunting knowing what is to come. A video where he records his underage half-sister swimming on her birthday. Then he filmed the girl opening her birthday gifts and hovered over her.
Pokemon! I'll have to help you with that, because some of those were hard.
It's uncomfortable. He posts a second video about her birthday on that day as well. Mostly it's Nick filming cats, but there is some of him filming his half-sister uncomfortably close. But a change in Nick's life came. The first signs of these changes came with a video posted on August 21st, 2010, in which Nick is playing Pokemon against someone named Maddie. And the next day he would post a journal titled, "I have a girlfriend now. That girlfriend is Maddie. She will become very important in our tale." And to be honest, she was kind of pity dating him / trolling him and wasn't really his girlfriend. He posted a blog titled, "Horrible Things," the same day, where he writes, "After like 3 months, I finally decided to call Dad. Luckily he wasn't serious about the only getting me every 6 months thing. So now I have internet for a few days. Just in time too. A bunch of bad shit happened that I need to investigate." Okay, so it started when I accidentally tweeted a thing about you-know-who when I meant to send it to this new friend I've been texting. Apparently you-know-who, or one of her friends, saw it.
I don't know, man. Every time I hear somebody refer to somebody as you-know-who, I just think of like a fucking Drake lyric. I told her girl I told her girl I'm back with you-know-who. Or no, she said, "Are you back with you-know-who?" And I said, I told her girl I'm always back with you-know-who. I don't know why. My brain always just goes there. Stupid thing for me to even remark. Fucking. Alright. Let's go, boys. Oh, fuck. That's not what I wanted.
Which, it's weird that they still read my Twitter, and her boyfriend soon left me a voicemail message to stop calling and texting her, which is also weird because I didn't. It was a tweet, and it was accidental. So then a little later, while I was talking to Maddie, she informed me that someone posted some thread about me, and people were trying to get me arrested or something. I still need to figure out what that's all about. I assume it's you-know-who and her friends spreading their delusions that I'm a stalker. I also heard that she herself posted something claiming something horrible. I'm hoping she lied. I'm really hoping she lied. Oh god, if she's not lying, everything is ruined forever. Nothing new happened outside of the internet. There was no follow-up to the thread comment about Nick, but this wouldn't be the initial thread to get Nick discovered by the wider internet universe. Nick would post one of the most viewed videos on his channel on September 18th, 2010, 17 days after his 19th birthday, involving him role-playing with his underage half-sister, AO. The description of the video read, "I LARP with my half-sister just days before our sticks were tragically stolen from us by our douchebag mom because I'm, quote, too old to be playing with sticks, unquote, dumb bitch." The video has 35,000 views and an overwhelming amount of dislikes. The video on its own seems innocent, just a brother and his little sister pretending to fight with sticks. But knowing what was going on behind the scenes, a new context begins to develop. Is the young girl being overly aggressive at a big brother who betrayed her innocence?
Okay, hang on. I'm tired. Plus, I think you got my knuckle. Yeah, you got my knuckle. And I'm bleeding.
9 days after this video, Nick posted to his blog again, detailing that his father has been telling him he will be homeless because he makes everyone in his life miserable. There is a lot of truth to this. Nick did get kicked out by his father, who said he could not come back till he got a job. Relations between his family continued to grow worse, and on October 28, 2010, Nick posted to one of his social medias, most likely Twitter, writing, "Oh, what the heck. Apparently I'm not allowed near again. Seriously guys, my relatives are idiots. I cannot stress that enough." Correspondence around this time period between him and Maddie revealed Nick continuing to talk about his delusions about Anna. These conversations were eventually leaked. I believe Nick thought of Maddie as a girlfriend at one point, but it really, like I said, it's not the case. It does seem like a delusion on his part. Actually, it's really doubtful Maddie was ever a girlfriend to him. Again, probably always a troll, because at one point in the conversation she wrote, "Because she's my friend and you are creepy and fat and smell bad. Like, how would she be happy with you even? She doesn't want to be treated like a princess. And you have a tiny penis, so you could never satisfy her. And you have no skills, so how could you even?" I want to add something to this. Something that happened between the time Anna blocked Nick and the time of Nick being outed to the greater internet. Nick wrote multiple long fanfictions about him marrying Anna, involving poop in great detail. I skimmed a few of these fanfictions and couldn't make it past certain parts.
What
it
the
was
fuck?
disgusting, especially considering it was written about a real girl who was terrified of this creepy man. And 2011 comes in. On February 9th, Nick posted to his personal Facebook saying he might be homeless soon. This is most likely not true. It's just that his dad would not let him stay there and do nothing but stink up the trailer and play Pokemon anymore, and wanted his 20-year-old son to get a job. And then in May 19th, 2011 to be precise, Nick got outed as the creepy he is to the internet at large. The exact details of this outing are not known. I've read in certain places that he showed up to the image board 789chan, which is a lolcow-focused image board to relate to the well-known cow Christian. Soon, the dwellers dug further into his online presence to find out he is a poop-loving pet stalker. The other story I've heard is that his ex-girlfriend, Maddie, decided to dump everything there to see if they were interested in the Horrorcow. The entry on this outing on the Encyclopedia Dramatica page reads, "Maddie is a 16-year-old girl who pity-dated Nick. She was the one who got on CWC and alerted its residents to Nick's pitiful existence. Chat logs, nudes, and logs of cybers were posted with the help of 2 trolls that hacked his accounts. Maddie herself linked the CWC thread to Nick, which made him freak out. The first few threads were based around gathering information about him and reading various chat logs. In a few threads, Anna actually posted, stating her lack of virginity, her stance on Nick, and various other things. The angsty CWC populace chased her off, however. After a month and many threads, Nick finally decided to take action. Nick himself started posting at CWC, stumbling into a flood of questions like, "Nick, why are you a p-?" Nick has not posted at CWC for quite a while, and Maddie has given up on him for the time being. Most of the chat logs are from Maddie's conversations with Nick, and DMs on Twitter. The citizens of CWC are torn on Maddie, and many look at her as somewhat of an attention whore. Some of the more sexually deprived users declare her the Boxy of CWC. And if you're wondering, CWC stands for Christian Weston Chandler, after the lolcow Christian, but I believe 789chan and CWC are similar. There are a few posts from the board still around today, but not the original thread. It eventually devolved into Nick doing a Q&A with the posters there who were looking on in horror. Many of the questions involved asking Nick if he truly molested his underage half-sister, or if he was truly into the gross fetishes he claimed to be. Nick claimed that everything he said was an act to pretend to be stupid, because it was funny to pretend to be stupid, and he claimed to have never touched his underage relative. That being said, he did admit to being a pedophile. He writes, "I am a but that's not illegal,
so proud of
as
it.
long as you don't actually do anything to children." But when people kept asking him why he molested his sister, he wrote, "I made that a boot her up for my friends, because I like to sound more f***ed up than I really am. Not for attention, as most of you guys are saying. It's just kind of the shtick I do for my friends. I never intended for it to get out to other people." Anna's friend, Jessa, also showed up at some point in the thread to counteract Nick's claims, writing, "I have personally known him for about 4 years. He did and does stalk Anna, and no, he didn't molest his cousin. He molested his half sister. I don't know where you guys are getting this cousin crap.
What
When asked
the
if he's a coprophiliac, aka a fetish.
Wait, what the fuck was that, dude? I just like walked into one attack and I was fucked. What the no. No, I reject this reality. I reject my humanity. God damn it. Fuck you, big clay pot man.
Fetishist. He said he was not sure, and an insight into the horrors of Nick's home can be seen when he responded to a question asking if he truly wiped cum and feces on his wall, to which he responded, "Yeah, I do. Back when I was using baby oil and Vaseline as lube, I couldn't get it to wash on my hands, water resistant, so I wiped my hands on walls, furniture, clothes, etc. But someone told me to use vegetable oil now, which is coming off easily, so my walls will probably remain clean for now. I used a paper towel, water, and some dish soap or something to clean the walls off, which didn't really work. It got most of it, but there's still some smudges and stuff." When asked if Nick wanted to do poo stuff with Anna, he responded, "I never said I wanted to do scat with her. I want to marry her and spend my life with her. That's all. My fetishes are irrelevant to love. But yeah, I'd be really flattered if someone thought of me that way. I just had a girlfriend who seemed to, although now I think she may have been trolling me. But still, at the time, I was flattered." He also detailed his abysmal bathing habits, which I mentioned earlier. He would just run his hair underwater and never actually wash his body. He shits and comes all over the place and never bathes or brushes his teeth. Lovely. To which one person responded to this horrific information writing, "So you haven't washed your ass properly in years, and you let your sister lick your ass." He then began to very thoroughly defend pedophilia, calling people who did not agree with his take on it bigots, and compared them to people who hated others based on race. He also proclaimed that children can, in fact, consent, which I don't think I need to hold the audience's hand here, and explain why that is disgusting and ridiculous. Despite claiming to be a pedophile, Nick was adamant he never did anything to his little sister. As time went on, people began to detail that they've been contacting schools and families about what Nick had been claiming online. Whether that be true or not is unknown. I want to read some of Nick's defense of pedophilia. In one post he writes, "It's not the saying I'm wrong that makes them bigots. It's the saying children aren't as developed as adults. That's ageism." He writes in another, "The KKK claims that black people being evil is fact, too, and the Nazis said the same about Jews. Hitler even proved it by explaining evolution or something, but it's not fact, it's still just racism." To which one person responded, "Yes, non-pedophiles are Hitler. Wonderful argument. Wait." It also seemed like a lot of the board was trying to convince Nick that his waifu, Anna, was with someone else and has had sex. Nick did not believe this, despite Anna and her best friend and other friends coming into the thread to tell him. The chat continued on much the same. Nick's responses were always disturbing in his defense of pedophilia and his obsession with Anna. After the thread not going so well, Nick made a post to his journal claiming that the Twitter that he used to confirm it was him in the thread was hacked. He also claimed the police were blocking him from websites, so he couldn't defend himself properly. About a month later, Nick claimed that the channers, aka the people posting to the board, were taking over most of his accounts. One fear he might have at the time is them gaining access to his email. Apparently Nick saves every conversation he ever had and emails himself to himself. On the same day as him claiming his accounts were being hijacked, Nick created a new DeviantArt account under the Nick Bate handle. He posted a journal to the DeviantArt explaining what happened to his old account, writing, "Sup, my old account was Hagurumon, but lately a bunch of jerk chantards have been hijacking all my accounts and changing the passwords. It's a long story, but basically they think I'm a lulz cow just because I have a bunch of weird
jerk chantards." It's like when Chris Chan would call people jerk ops, like a jerk cop, jerk cops. Jesus Christ.
Fetishes, and I'm all nerdy and stuff. There's a bunch of threads about me on an image board, and posters have been trying to get me arrested for molesting my half-sister, even though I can prove that I didn't. But of course, they don't listen to a word I say.
You can't
it's also
prove
been
that
floating around that I'm stalking someone, but that's not true either. The real story is that I met this girl, Anna, back in 2005, fell in love with her, and then on August 23rd, 2008, she randomly decided to start hating me and told all her friends I'm creepy, a stalker, an idiot, etc. So now tons of people on the internet hate me, so that's nice. It'll probably be a while until I post any art or anything. I lack a scanner. On June 17th, 2011, Nick made another YouTube channel, most likely to run from the Channers, entitled Constant Butts.
Is that another
he
big
posted
chest
his
over
first
there?
video that day of just him doing things around the house and showing off his cat.
Oh my god,
but while
dude, that's
he
like
did this,
5.
he would sprinkle in him singing about having sex with children's butts.
Performing analingus on children is the right thing to do.
And eating poop.
What the fuck?
Gonna lick your anus, use my tongue. Gonna lick your anus and taste your dung.
And he also made a post on this day as well, in which he details that the internet denizens had contacted his mom, and his family is mad at him because of this. Nick made another video on June 21st, titled IDK I Forget, where he shows all his Anna-themed collections. At one point, he reads a letter Anna had sent him years prior. And worst of all, he has a list of sexual things he wants to do with Anna, and a separate list of things he wants to do to Anna's butt.
Where in the world is... Ooh, things I want to do to Anna's butt. This is a good one.
And then he ends
No,
this video
none of them are a
singing
good one, buddy.
about Anna's butt.
Gonna have anal sex with Anna.
What is this singing?
Anus, and I will lick it also and taste her feces.
On July 21st, Nick posted a journal about his home life. Mostly he recapped events going on with his B family, but one paragraph read, okay, this is the disturbing paragraph. Here we go. I got my little flashlight thing stuck up my butt. Normally I leave the tip sticking out so I can grab it and pull it out when I'm done. But on this particular occasion, I forgot it was in there. I clenched and accidentally sucked it the whole way up. He posted another entry that same day titled, More Emo Whining, where he expressed how upset he was with the Channers and how they have hijacked all of his accounts. On August 5th, 2011, Nick tweeted out, I want to be involved in a tabloid scandal someday. Nick Bate, shocker. IDK, something like that. Another conversation between Maddie and Nick that was later leaked occurred on October 24th, 2011. In the conversation, Maddie tries to beg Nick to wash his stinky ass. Maddie's criticism of Nick's hygiene continued into November, and on November 18th, she wrote, I have a strong feeling that you smell bad, and whenever you sit down, you leave a residue, like that slime guy from Monsters, Inc. To which Nick claimed to have no bad smell, which is highly unlikely.
Highly
He followed that up
unlikely.
with telling Maddie that he wanted to violate Anna in various ways, which obviously made Maddie uncomfortable. There were more disgusting messages between them, including this one from November 21st, 2011. Nick writes, Maddie, will you be my wiping mentor? Do you wipe sitting or standing? How much paper do you use? Do you crumple or fold? What fingers do you use? What motion do you use? Like up and down? Side to side? In a circle? The way you clean CDs? Oh, also, which hand? Also, do you reach a wound at the back? Or
like the way you clean CDs. Oh, what the fuck, dude? You fucking crazy motherfucker. You crazy motherfucker. You are an unhinged fucking animal, bro. What the actual fucking hickory smoked fuck is this? Holy Christ.
or through your legs? How many strokes does it take? How many sheets? To which Maddie just responded with a sad face. And Nick responds, See, Maddie, this is why I can't do anything. I need to know every last detail. One thing missing and I blow the whole task. Cry face. Also in the conversation, Maddie informs Nick that Anna thinks he's disgusting. The next point of interest comes on December 22nd, 2011, on Nick's old DeviantArt account, where you can see Nick saying he molested his sister in the comment section. Nick continued to message Maddie till the end of 2011, with disgusting comments about sexual things in which Maddie seemed highly uncomfortable, and this continued into 2012. According to the text from early January 2012, Nick began to threaten Anna's boyfriend. The conversation was strange. I've read through all the DMs between Nick and Maddie seems to be very blunt and constantly telling Nick to stop and leave Anna alone, and Nick continues to try to convince Maddie that he's right for the girl. Not only that, Nick mentions that Maddie had ruined his life, which I assumed it's because she leaked information on him to the message board. But Nick keeps talking to her despite this. Maddie also informed Nick that Anna was disgusted with the letter he sent her and burned it. Despite Nick continuing to talk to Maddie, in a journal from January 7th, 2012, he details that Maddie was continuing to leak stuff and that the trolls would not leave him alone on Twitter. In a conversation on January 14th between Nick and Maddie, Nick tells her that he will no longer think of her as his best friend because of her leaking information causing him to be trolled, to which Maddie responds, "I really do not care." And he also decided someone named Tom was to be his new BFF, who also apparently hated him. On February 9th, he posted a blog entitled An Explanation of the Obsession Cycle, where he talks about how he becomes obsessed with various fandoms, and he seems to be responding to an article, which I assume may be his entry into the Encyclopedia Dramatica wiki, which is interesting because he talks about his obsessions with They Might Be Giants, Bonus Stage, and other fandoms, rather than try to refute the molestation, and stalking allegations that were contained in the entry. There are more conversations between Maddie and Nick, and one from March 9th, 2012. Nick says he was banned from the computer because his dad got a virus that put child pornography on their computer, and his dad assumed Nick had done that. Very fair assumption.
It is a fair assumption.
In a psychological
Good detective.
evaluation of Nick that we will go
Detective
over
Cole
later,
Phelps is
Nick
on the
admitted
case.
to his therapist he had attempted to find child pornography. The Maddie DMs continued all throughout the month of March, and in the messages, it was just Maddie telling Nick he is a gross and Nick asking Maddie to engage in conversations about butts, poop, and Anna. Maddie even repeatedly told Nick in the conversations she was going to leak the DMs onto the image boards. Around this time as well, Nick's Encyclopedia Dramatica page was published, as mentioned before. I listed it on my timeline as March 30th, 2012, though it might have been published before this date as I saw possible mentions of it earlier, but the first archive of the page was on this date. Encyclopedia Dramatica is a parody Wikipedia page, focusing on the ongoings on the internet. Though it is not entirely factual, it is usually based around actual events, with some liberties taken for the sake of comedy. Nick Bate's page read, "Who is Nick? Admitted pedophile. Says he likes little girls because their vaginas haven't opened up and become all gross, and they're cute and energetic. Believes pedophilia and incest should be legal. Says there's stupid laws, and believes children can consent. Says a newborn baby has the exact same brain as an adult. Thinks children can be taught about sex, and then it's okay to f them. This includes his own children, were he able to have any. Also, he's a cross-dresser, and he's into LARPing and things that Kentucky don't exist. He also mentions a habit of smelling cats. Nick refuses to say use in certain words, so replaces them with O's, as in about/a boot. His reasoning is that he wants to be a Canadian, and as such, these are now known as his Canadianisms. Nick is a devout Christian. He believes marrying Anna is their fate, and that God decided it.
Oh,
he also believes
I didn't
he
know
is a
that part.
prophet sent by God to tell people of the wonders of anal, and that the Bible story of Sodom and Gomorrah was misinterpreted. Every so often, he will make prophetic tweets. On May 23rd, 2012, a website called forcesofgeek.com released an article on Nick entitled Digital Shivers. The article coined the term Shuddercow, which is like a lolcow but more horrific. In the future, the label will change to being a Horrorcow, and Nick really was the original Horrorcow. The article went over the typical information we reviewed previously in this story, but there are a few things to note. For one, as mentioned before, he calls his biological family his B family, but I did not mention that was because he planned on Anna's family becoming his family once they married, because he hated his parents immensely. The article also details Nick's music career, which we have heard songs he sang in his videos before, but the article adds new information, writing. He is an amateur musician and has occasionally posted songs. They are very basic in nature and have charming titles like Anally Raping Children. Many of them are very short, a move possibly inspired by the Fingertips song collection from They Might Be Giants. The article concluded with, 789chan, the board that Nick Bate was discovered on, isn't nearly as active as, say, 4chan. It's still incredible though that random people on the internet found this person and reported him to the authorities through their efforts as a group, even if their efforts have thus far yielded nothing definite. Consider too what Nick says about morality on the net. Even when jokes are seen as the norm, when people throw around slurs like free candy, there is a point where something is so bad as to be potentially irredeemable. This is something important to remember as the real world and the virtual gradually merge, that somewhere amidst it all, we can still cling to our humanity. And why should we? Because people still say things like this. How do I get Anna to do anal? After the first time, she'll like it and keep doing it. But the problem is getting that first session. As mentioned in the article, Nick was an aspiring musician, and on August 5th, 2012, he released demos of his music. The songs were all a horrible cacophony of Nick singing out of tune about having sex with butts, including Anna as well as children.
I'm gonna do my wife and also some children in their butts.
Here is a list of the songs. Soundcheck.
Bro, even calling him an amateur musician is giving him way too much credit. Way too much credit. Like, I didn't think Nick Bate in the worst seats. These song titles. Also, the big title at the top, because it's like a ripoff of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, right? Nick Bate and the Worst Seeds. Jesus Christ, that's so good. That's so good. That's comedy gold right there. The titles themselves, no, I don't know. I am not a kitten. I'll get behind that. I'll get behind that one. The anus of anus. What the fuck?
Check. Doing children in the butt. Blowing up the U.S. I am not a kitten. Anally rape children. Oh baby, I have rabies. Do the doggy disco. The anus of anus. Gonna stick it in Anna's butt. Butts, butts, butts. Everybody's pooping except for you. Every day is like feces.
Everybody's
Vagina
pooping
suck.
except for you.
Butt in the hood. Tinfoil bowl. Penises are everywhere. I like sex.
Butt fucking in the hood. I'm a fan of everybody's pooping except for you. Penises are everywhere.
Sex, but only in the butt and the mouth. And finally, I like sex, but only in the butt and the mouth. Take two.
Oh,
Things
okay.
grow stagnant. The big discoveries of Nick
Jesus.
were pretty much over at this point. For the next 2 years, it was people following his online antics. For example, on April 25th, 2013, the gossip message forum Kiwi Farms started their first thread on Nick. The thread was mostly people comparing Nick Bate to the main lolcow of the forum, Christian. It mostly, at the very beginning, just had people discussing the events that started back in 2011, with very little new information to be found. A lot of people hoped Nick was merely trolling, as he claimed in the 2011 789 Chan thread. The thread did, however, track Nick's tweets closely. On May 31st, 2013, he tweeted out, "Recently, listening to the recordings of my phone calls with Maddie again. She's so cute, we should date again." On June 16th, 2013, Nick made a post to his live journal titled, "First entry in a year and it's confusing and upsetting," in which Nick is most likely discussing his relationship with Maddie. He is describing a friend who betrayed him and seems to be shocked about it, despite Maddie constantly telling him that she hated him and was leaking all their conversations. Nick is a bit slow. On July 7th, 2013, Nick sent a copy of his psych evaluation to a random person. This person would then release the psych evaluation onto a website called Pastebin. The psych evaluation is long, but I will be going over the highlights. In a section detailing his family life, it is stated that Nick's family won't allow him at home, and when he asked his stepfather why, his stepfather responded, "You know why." Nick stated he did not know why. Following that section writes, Nick does have a 10-year-old maternal stepsister, and he reported that he has a good relationship with her, but he is not allowed to see her without a parent present. He denied any past violence or inappropriate behavior towards her. His mom also reportedly told the therapist that Nick had always been a problem. In a section about school, it was reported that Nick actually has a superior intellect but does not do well with others. There was a section detailing these relations that talked about Anna, which read, community/peer relations. Nick does not have any peer relationships in the community. He has a strained relationship with his family members. He developed a relationship with some individuals online when he was a teenager. One individual is Anna, and she has blocked all contact with him, although he continues to make attempts to contact her electronically. Nick firmly believes that he and Anna will eventually marry, and he continues to ignore her request to not contact her, and the more recent request of the police to stop all contact with her. He believes that she resides in California, but stated that he has no plans to go to California to find her. Quote, because I would need an escort, because I wouldn't know how to go about getting there, unquote. He also reported that he will continue to try to contact her, although, quote, I wouldn't commit a major crime to reach her, but probably a misdemeanor. Also, in a section, the psychiatrist noted that Nick did smell very bad. In another part of the evaluation, it was noted he got physically violent with his mother and left bruises, as well that he fantasizes about violently murdering his stepfather, mom, and aunt. The doctor notes his behavior
Hope that doesn't happen.
Concerning. The most disturbing section detailed his sexual perversion, and this read, Nick also reported having sexual fantasies that involve him having anal sex with women and young girls. He reported that his fantasies include both rape and consensual sex. His sexual fantasies involve feces, as he reported that he becomes sexually aroused by fantasizing about women defecating, and that he has used feces when he masturbates. He does frequently take pornographic tapes that involve the above, although he reported he has not been able to access child porn.
This guy's grody.
He stated that he has never been sexually
grody.
intimate with anyone. His only sexual encounter was around the age of 13, when he and a female teen cousin touched each other, and this was reported to be consensual. Nick shared his journals with this evaluator, which included numerous writings about sex and violence. He had written about being angry with his aunt and described how he would like to anally rape her. He reported that he does not necessarily fantasize about his aunt, and that he wrote that statement out of anger. At one point, he wrote how something was falling from the sky, and he thought it was semen, but later realized it was rain. On the MMPI-2, Nick's response...
Is this a Neutral Milk Hotel song? Like, I thought semen was falling from the sky. Fucking semen stains the mountaintops. Like, what the... What? What? Just absolute what? Total whatery. I just don't... Holy fucking Christ. My brothers in Christ. This motherfucker. This motherfucker. Semen stains the mountaintops, motherfucker.
Responses on the schizophrenia...
That Neutral Milk Hotel album is great, though. Like... See, because in a way, the stories are similar, except on the album, it's less about poop. But there is a girl with a similar name, Anne. You know, he read Anne Frank's diary and wrote a whole album about how he fell in love with her, like obsessively in love with her, and wished desperately he could go back in a time machine and like marry her and have sex with her. Like, real weird album, but hey, she's a dead girl from the Holocaust, and it was a touching album, and mostly it was about how he wished he could like save her, you know, from that situation. But then there's this, and you hear his music, and he ain't no Jeff Mangum. He sure as fuck is no Jeff Mangum. He is no neutral milk hotel. He is chaotic evil hotel, for sure. What the fuck?
Scale were quite high, T equals 112. Specifically, his high score on the social alienation subscale, T equals 105, suggests that he perceives that he is mistreated and misunderstood. His emotional alienation score, T equals 98, indicated that he has a significant amount of fears, depression, and apathy. Additionally, the high T scores on the lack of ego mastery, cognitive T equals 90, and co-native T equals 92, scales are consistent with someone who fears losing control, feels as though life is unreal, and likely responds to stress by retreating into a fantasy world. His response to the thematic apperception test, TAT, suggested some problems with reality orientation. He described one picture as a house in a snowstorm with eyes in the background. Quote, "That's like a ghost or something," unquote. On another card, he saw a figure in the background and stated, quote, "That's like a dog wearing a hood," unquote, but later added that he didn't.
What in the fuck is that? I've never seen that enemy before in my life. Whoo, bad matchup for me. That thing turns into a puffer fish if I hit it. What the fuck? I don't like it. I don't like that one. That's a no from me, dog.
Did not know why a dog would be walking upright, wearing a hood. The evaluation concluded he has social phobia, depression, paraphilia, and schizotypal personality disorder. The recommendations for Nick closed the evaluation, which read, 1. Nick is an individual who is suffering from several depressive symptoms that appear to be minimally responsive to medication and therapy at this time. In addition, Nick appears to have a significant problem with cognitive distortions, and his orientation to reality is tenuous. It is likely that his social isolation, which allows him to spend most of his day fantasizing, is contributing to his overall impairment. While Nick has not acted on any of these impulses, based on the level of specific violent details involved in his fantasies and his grossly impaired judgment, it is strongly recommended that Nick be referred to a partial hospitalization program where he can be supervised and treated on a daily basis. This type of environment
I
will
refuse
also
to let
be
this
able
run
to
die
provide him
there.
with a safe environment with structure to work on decreasing his anxiety related to interpersonal contact. If Nick is unwilling to attend a partial hospitalization program, his status should be monitored frequently by his intensive case manager to determine if inpatient treatment may be necessary. 2. With regard to his violent sexual fantasies that involve both adults and minors, it is recommended that a comprehensive psychosexual evaluation be conducted as soon as possible. It is recommended that a residential treatment center be considered due to the violent nature of his thoughts. 3. With regard to his housing situation, Nick has questioned his ability to live independently. Presently, his judgment and decision-making abilities are impaired, and it is questionable whether he would be able to function appropriately if faced with an emergency in his home. Based on this, it is recommended that a residential program be considered. On August 4th, Nick tweeted multiple times about thinking of himself as female. To my knowledge, he currently identifies as male. After that, Nick began to tweet obsessively about Hitler, most likely trying to get Hitler attention. Behavior like this is why so many people overlooked his pedophilia proclamations. On August 29th, 2013, Nick tweeted out, "What with all these sexy children coming into the store? I think I figured out my preferred age range. 8 to 10 seems about right." It is believed Nick began to work at a family-owned store, as referenced in the tweet. Again, the gross tweets continued. There's only so many tweets I will read about anal before it becomes redundant, so I will just read off highlights. On October 28th, 2013, Nick tweeted out a picture of one of his rotten teeth falling out. A day after Christmas, December 26, 2013, Nick tweeted out, "I kind of want my own JC Duggard, except I would keep her less than 18 years, because I don't really like adults. At puberty, I'd go kidnap a different child, and the cycle repeats."
What
This is
the
a hypothetical,
fuck?
of course. "I'm too timid to kidnap and sexually assault." 2014.
No, dude. This is not. No, he never said this, but like, you know, for me, like, you know, and a lot of people, they'll make like jokes like, haha, you know, I want to kill myself, you know, but then like, you know, obviously I don't really mean it. I'm too cowardly, I know, you know, but like, But then, like, people make those jokes, right? But, like, this is different. Like, you're talking about, like, physically hurting and assaulting and violating other people. Like, holy fucking shit, dude.
2013 passes and 2014 comes, and on January 18th, 2014, Nick made a new live journal titled Kentucky Don't Exist. Saying Kentucky doesn't exist is some joke or something. I don't get it. Then, on January 29th, Nick got admitted to an inpatient hospital and was released, with no spectacular updates to what happened during his stay. He tweeted out on February 13th, "Well, that sucked," and that he finally got released. He detailed the stay 2 days later, writing, "I was hospitalized, so I got involuntarily committed to a psych unit again. It was terrible. What happened was I was at my usual therapy appointment, and I was asked what all my problems are, a lot. In response to the problem of my occasional dark thoughts, she told me to write an essay describing one example in great detail. When I did this, she said it was worrisome and called crisis intervention, who said I should be hospitalized. I was in there just a day under 2 weeks. I don't know what was worse, being around to people constantly, or the boredom stemming from not being able to listen to my iPod or anything. I did make a couple of hospital homies who helped pass the time. These 2 girls said I was cute, which was a surprise because I always thought I was ugly. Why did nobody tell me this before? Also, another girl who looks exactly like my wife, before the weight gain, flirted with me, I'm pretty sure. She sat next to me in one of the groups and intentionally bumped my arm. Then when I looked at her, she was smiling at me. It was pretty cool, and I take it as a good sign about my wife. On February 25th, 2013, he tweeted out, "Great, to stop my cat from peeing on my desk, I put a bunch of stuff on it, so he can't even get up there. So he goes and pees under it. So his place smells like cat piss, shit, and cum." Meanwhile, on March 28th, 2014, the smell of cat piss in his apartment got so bad there was a formal complaint. On April 3rd, 2014, Nick's aunt threw away the pillow he came all over while pretending it was Anna. Nick tweeted, "I'm pissed. Joyce threw out my Anna pillow again. This is the 3rd damn time." On June 11th, 2014, Nick tweeted out a barrage of tweets saying he killed birds as a child, peed himself in school, and more disturbing things. July 14th, 2014, Nick tweeted out a photo of Anna with the caption, "I imagine this is what she looks like when she's pooping." It's been 6 years since Anna blocked him. Finally, something sort of interesting happened. On August 19th, 2014, Anna joined Kiwi Farms to talk about Nick in a long post telling her side of the story. She explained she met him online when she was 12 or 13 and that he was very clingy, but she didn't get freaked out until 2008 when she did eventually block him. She explained after she blocked him on all accounts, he called her at her house, even though she never gave him her number, and this really terrified her. Anna was obviously creeped out and still terrified of Nick years later. She stuck around to answer more questions, but most importantly, she emphasized that Nick probably did harm his half-sister and only backtracked when he received backlash. She also informed readers of the forum that she did try to go to the authorities about Nick, and the sheriff dismissed the concerns. Anna stuck around on the forum as Uncanny to answer questions about Nick's obsession with her. She told forum dwellers that Nick would threaten her ex-boyfriends and threaten to visit her in real life. Nick soon got wind of Anna posting to the forums and tweeted out on August 20th, "A person claiming to be my wife is posting in that thread. Seeing as how she knows a lot about me, it's pretty safe to assume she's real. She's still displaying hatred of me, but on the other hand, she's still thinking about me, so that's a start. If I had internet access, I'm kinda tempted to post in that thread too, and try to defend myself, and also try to win over wife. Also, idea. Wife said what she hates about me the most is my stupidity, so maybe I could film myself doing some math." The owner of Kiwi Farm, Null, immediately responded.
One of the things that she said she hated about me was my stupidity. So what if I just like show her like me doing some math, man? Like, hey baby, how do you feel about me now? I went and got myself educated. You know what I learned today? If I add the number 3 to the number 5, I get the number... Wait, hold on, let me think about it. 8. That's right. Look at me, I'm smart now. Look, I did math. I did math. I can even multiply. Check this out. So if I do 5 times 2, I get 10. What? How did I do that? How did I do that? Oh, baby girl, you don't know I'm tapping into the next dimension. I am a Sigma male now, baby. I am Omega. I'm basically a Yale fucking Dean's List guy. Yeah. Fuck, dude, that killed me. I'm dead, dude. I'm dead. I'm dead. I got a notification on my phone, and it was a reminder that I didn't look at a Facebook message. Oh.
Responded to Nick, writing,
At Nick Bate. If you join my forums, I will ban you and delete your posts before they're read. Kill yourself.
Eventually, Null made the thread members only, so Nick couldn't stalk Anna further. Nick tweeted out about this on August 21st, writing, Yo, what? They made the thread members only. Well, that's not cool at all. Nick continued to tweet, and Anna continued to answer questions. There's only so many times I can detail Nick's horrific stalking of Anna, and there's only so many tweets about butts I can read. You all get the picture. Someone summed up Nick's online presence by describing him on Twitter as, Hey everyone, please troll me. Sometime around October 17th, 2014, Nick posted another dance similar to his booby dance, where he danced shirtless and poured liquid on himself. Notable here is you can see his apartment and the clutter near his doorway. He apparently wiped poop on the walls in this apartment. In fact, a day before this video, Nick tweeted out, Arg, my bee ant came into my apartment and made me clean some of the feces off my walls. No, I want it there, damn it. He continued on his poop rant, writing, They want to—
Dude's literally going on a poop rant. It's a real poop rant. My aunt, I can't believe it. My aunt, what a bitch, man. My aunt came in here and she made me clean up all the poop on my walls. I want it there. I'm Picasso. I'm Poopcasso. All right? This is my art. She's making me tear down my art. What's next? They're going to make me tear down my felonious music? Jesus fucking Christ. Like, this guy has... I'll ask it again. How do you lose the plot so fucking hard? Like, this is like one of the craziest motherfuckers to ever have access to a keyboard and mouse.
To kick me out of the apartment because I can't clean.
Kick
Good
me
luck with
out?
that.
Kick me out of the apartment? Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Fuck you.
I have nowhere else to go until wife reciprocates. Why do normies not want feces on walls? I even asked Bee Ant, but she wouldn't give a straight answer. She just said not to put it there. Meh. When I'm living with wife, I hope she lets me poop up the hoose. And I want to use her poop too, not just mine. Another interesting update on the stench of Nick came on December 10th, 2014, when he tweeted out
that dude
multiple
needs to
times
Cobain himself.
that his cat was peeing all over his apartment. If you've ever had a cat or known someone with a cat, cat pee is one of the most horrendous smells.
It is pretty bad. But like why? Like, you're getting mad at your cat for peeing on the floor, but like you're shitting on your walls, bro. Like, you're like, my aunt made me clean up the poop art on my wall, but my cat keeps peeing on the floor and that's pissing me off.
Because cats are meant to live in extreme climates, and therefore they need to hold on to moisture and hydration longer, which makes their pee more concentrated. Once an item gets soaked in cat piss, it will stink of it forever, and there's no way to fix it except to throw away the soiled material. The next update on Nick's hygiene came out 3 days later, when he said he will no longer brush his teeth because it wasn't fun. On the same day as this, Anna was asked
That's a dumb
if
reason. I won't brush my teeth because I don't find it very fun. Fuck you. It's not a trip to fucking Cedar Point, dude.
Ever intervened.
It's 2 minutes of your life.
In the child molestation claims Nick had made. She said that the police had been called on him and that people have reported him, but nothing legally had ever happened to him. She did, however, encourage people to contact child services about Nick's behavior.
Don't
Nick,
you mean a
throughout
boot?
the years, had been keeping up an Ask FM account, a website where you ask people questions. And since he had been found by trolls, he received many questions. On December 21st, he was able to access a computer again, and answered a lot of these questions, mostly talking about Anna, butts, and poops, the usual. He also posted a journal entry around this time, adding the word butt to random words as if he was creating a butt-themed dialect. His obsession seemed to be growing. He also admitted to being a pedophile again, though he preferred the term pedosexual, as if it was part of the LGBTQ+.
Add it to the flag.
He talked a lot on how much he hated vaginas. Christmas, as well as the end of the year, was slowly approaching. On or around Christmas Eve, Nick answered a question stating that he still sees the underage half-sister that he allegedly molested at holidays. He also answered a question saying he physically found someone in his family attractive and wanted to f them up the butt. Not much besides gross tweets happened in 2014. So we go into 2015. 2015 started normal. Horrible Nick tweets and Anna answering questions on the forum. On January 16th, he tweeted out that his therapist wanted him to no longer read his Kiwi Farms thread. Nick also was continuing to answer questions on Ask FM, mostly, again, about poop, Anna, and butts. But on January 21st,
That's always the worst is when one of the cows, lol cows, horror cows, start interacting with their Kiwi Farms people. Even people I like Destiny has a Kiwi Farms thing, and I've seen him post on there, and it's like, what? Don't even interact with these people. It's not even fucking worth your time.
2015, he revealed he liked to masturbate with poop. He also called himself a pedosexual on this day as well. But then, something amazing happened. On January 30th, 2015, Nick tweeted out, "Dude, what? No, my half-sister herself is accusing me of molesting her. Obviously I didn't, but I have no idea who to defend myself here. Apparently her dad..."
Uh-oh, the sister's coming out. She's coming out with the accusation. Boom! We're gonna get the ace attorney part of this story now.
Dad believes her and wants to call the cops. "This is not cool. I didn't do anything." He continued, "My aunt keeps calling me a bootit. I can't tell if she believes it or not, but at least she doesn't seem mad, so that's a good thing." He continued, "I guess there's the fact that I've never actually been alone with her, so hopefully I'll be okay. But still, man, this is uncool. Another thing is that if I were to molest someone, it'd be anal, and it doesn't seem like she's accusing me of that. But I'm not gonna say that until I know for sure she's not accusing me of it. It doesn't sound like it, though." In another tweet he writes, "I'd like to know why my B half-sister did this. She had a good day today, getting to go to the mall and stuff." And he concluded with, "I broke my rule and checked that thread because I knew there'd be commotion about this new development.
I knew there'd be commotion about this new development.
Reminder that I didn't do it."
Dude, fuck the way this guy talks, dude. His wannabe Canadian, typing style is just fucking... I can't stand it. Every time I hear it,
The next day, Nick tweeted out that his mother believed him over his little sister. With the new development, the image board 8kun started a new board excited that authorities had stepped in, and this was around February 8th, 2015. On February 20th, Nick updated his followers on the sexual allegations against him on his live journal. He wrote, "Lately, I've been on the receiving end of a lot of harassment about my sexuality due to certain false accusations about me. People don't seem to understand that just because I'm pedosexual doesn't mean I'm a rapist. I'm a good person, and I just fantasize about children, and it's no different from any other fetish. I wish NAMBLA would step up their game and do some widespread education about sexuality to remove social stigma. Even the most liberal people discriminate against us, and it sucks."
Discriminate.
But then he went back to stalking Anna, posting drawings he made of her and tweeting about fanfiction
Actually, no, you're right. Goddamn right we discriminate against you fucking people. God damn. Yeah, I said you people. You fucking minor attracted people. Fuck you people.
wrote about her. But word may have gotten out of the claims against Nick in his town, as on March 6th, Nick tweeted that
Also, fuck this glass of water shit. We're drinking it straight from the source. Water from the source. Alright, that was my moment. That was my moment to shine. And boy, did I.
that someone spray painted "Get Out" on his house, and it seemed to not be a fake story for attention. Because then, Nick added that his aunt was cleaning up the graffiti and was mad at him. And finally on March 10th, we got an update on the allegations against him, with a tweet from Nick that read, "Oh, by the way, a detective talked to me. I'll post about it on LiveJournal whenever I get online. Might be another ooer because of the DST change." He followed up with a journal.
It's only gotten worse.
It is not good to be alive. The entry.
It's only gotten worse as the documentary's gone on. Like, I feel like when it started, it was just a boot, and now it's everything with like a vowel sound is just changed to that, and it's like, holy shit, dude. Like, you can't do this. We can't let you get away with this. That's almost as egregious as the accusations being leveled at you right now.
We read, "Oh Lord." So a detective and I guess social worker finally talked to me about the freaking allegations. They're convinced I did it. I guess because of the chat log where I said I did it. I told them I was lying in the log, but apparently they don't believe me. They tried to get me to confess, with the promise of a lighter punishment. But I'm aware of how the US legal system works. They promise you'll get off light, but then after you confess, they renege and you're screwed. So I remained adamant and didn't give a false confession. The problem is, no matter how much I deny I did it, and also the fact I've never been alone with her, they still think I did.
So it's one of their
so
chests
I don't know what's
here.
going to happen now.
Hold on,
For those of
is
you
this
who
new?
are Christian, keep me in your prayers and request I don't go to jail or anything. My aunt says I might end up with mandatory therapy. I guess that wouldn't be so bad.
Sorry, I'm a little just focused on this element in the game. So when you enter this Newt Realm thing, like you typically don't get like item chests. Maybe it's just when you play with friends. I don't really go here by myself, but like, you know, 'cause I'm scared. I'm like a scared, you know, lost in the supermarket kind of feeling, you know. But like, I don't remember item boxes ever being here. In fact, I know for a fact there were never item boxes here. They must have added this.
Considering I'm in therapy anyway, but they'll probably try to make me stop being pedosexual or some crap. People still don't understand there's nothing wrong with pedosexuality. It's just a normal fetish like any other, like me and butt stuff or whatever. I said it in my last entry, but it bears repeating. NAMBLA needs to step up their game. Not being pedosexual would be easier. I would avoid a lot of harassment and stuff, but as you all know, I stick to my beliefs, and the right thing to do is to face my persecution with dignity, like any martyr. I just hope one day the world will accept
Like
us.
any martyr?
They asked me what
What a
all
choice of
online accounts I
words.
have. I can't even think of them all off the top of my head, and I forgot LiveJournal and Last.fm, and probably others I still can't remember.
He's the
I need
maps
a hub
martyr.
that keeps track of my accounts. Well, I had one, but it got hacked. Well, anyway, I'm sure they'll find this through my Twitter, and my Last.fm is Nick Bate. I don't know why my luck is so I'm a good person. I'm nice to everyone. I platonically love cats and volunteer with them sometimes. I've never done anything bad, and my entire life is dedicated to making life better for wife. Why does life shit all over me? Then, as if the day wasn't bad enough, which is ironic because before that, the outlook looked good due to today being a dial a song day. My aunt then made me do stuff around the apartment, like clean up all the vomit, vacuum, and wash the feces off the walls and doors. And she sprayed Febreze or something all over the place, and I'm pretty sure she wasn't careful to avoid my cups that I had sitting around, so no, I'm gonna have to clean them, or else be poisoned next time I drink. It looked like, after 4 years of claiming to fuck his underage sister online and being reported, the authorities were finally getting involved. The people following the story celebrated at this news. Nick decided he was going to defend himself on March 12th and tweeted out, "I just filmed the ultimate video that should prove my innocence. How do I get it to the detective?" What this video would unleash onto the internet would be indescribable horror. Stay tuned. He began to reply to people.
Wait.
In the replies, he described the video and insinuated that he proved that him saying in the chat logs that he wouldn't lick an underage girl's behind because it was covered in poop is a lie because he does have a poop fetish. Therefore, he was not telling the truth in the laws, and therefore, he never molested a child. Does that make sense? He also implied...
Wait, hold on.
...defend himself on March 12th and tweeted out, "I just to the detective state what this video would unleash onto the internet would be indescribable horror, and that he would because he does have a poop fetish. Therefore, he was not telling the truth in the laws, and therefore, he never molested a child." Does that make sense? He also implied he proved this poop fetish contradiction through masturbation, and that he planned to send this to a police officer. Nick then posted a screenshot of a letter he sent to the detective about being innocent. This letter was screenshotted and was basically illegible. The video was then released online, March 23rd, 2015. I did not watch the video, but I did listen to a description of the video from Internet Cool Guy and Weatherman, Mr. Medicare. This is him describing the proof from
And Weatherman.
Case closed. Cause, you know, smearing all over my...
It is the way he talks, though. It is like a weatherman. I kind of like it, though. I don't listen to Mr. Medicare. I've heard some takes I don't really care for from that guy. I'm not even really sure I care for him. But, like, the way he talks, just his voice is definitely pretty infectious. I could see why people... He's got a voice for radio. That's for goddamn sure.
My genitals clearly indicates that I'm incapable of molesting children. That is a slam dunk.
That's right. Nick filmed himself digging poop out of a toilet and rubbing it on his penis for a detective to watch. Now, Mr. Medicare did a full description of this video in his video. I will link an archive of that below if you so wish to hear it. I decided that it was something a lot of you would rather not have the graphic description of. Just know it was gross and nobody wanted it to exist. People on the farms reacted to this video dropping in horror. This fapping video ruined the day of many internet posters and lolcow enjoyers. Worst of all, the detective on his case was a female. He had sent a female detective video of him jerking off with his own poop. If you are wondering what Nick's penis looks like, imagine a very small pickle. One of those very small sweet pickles, or even just like a pimple. Yes, I did see his pee-pee. I didn't watch the video in full, but I did see the pee-pee. Nick was absent from Twitter for 13 hours straight at the beginning of April, and Kiwi farmers began to be hopeful that he was arrested. But then soon he returned to posting about butts and feces. On April 7th, Nick answered a question on his Ask FM if he had sexual urges for his underage sister, to which he said he has fantasies but no urges. Things were building up, especially after the investigation began a few weeks earlier. On the same day as this, Nick tweeted out he was painting his apartment because his aunt forced him to after he rubbed feces all over it. He said the feces had been on the walls for years. He took a selfie to celebrate his day of painting. Some good news came days later. An update from Nick was tweeted out on April 12th. What the hell? I got a copy of the report about me, and it says I've been telling people I did it. Have they even been paying attention? It also says we performed analingus on each other, which A, I only perform, not receive, and B, I didn't even perform. I don't understand. Did the detective not get my email with my evidence or what?
What killed me?
Noble Gray Horse posted the crimes Nick was being charged of on April 12th, which read, "The investigation reveals that the allegations of sexual abuse can be substantiated in accordance with the CPS. The redacted account of being forced to perform oral sex on her brother, licking his backside, and him licking her backside has remained clear, consistent, and credible. The blank included details of dates, times, places, and events. This abuse has been ongoing between the ages of 5 and 11. The AP talked to the commander after being informed of the CPSL rights. The AP denies the acts verbally, however writes about the particulars of the abuse in his blogs and to others over the internet. The above situation does meet the CPSL chapter number's definition of sexual abuse. I'm not sure how Noble Grey Horse got this information, but knowing the outcome, it does seem that this reporting from them is legitimate. CPS was now involved. People were happy, not because of what Nick did, but because it seemed Nick was finally getting repercussions for his actions. Anna seemed excited on the farms. Discussion of Nick spread further to lolcow.farm. Nick continued to tweet as well. On April 15th, he revealed that his sister had now openly accused him of the molestation, and his family was believing her claims. But Nick then began to tweet again shortly after this. No mentions of the investigation, and people believed it was over. But one commenter kept the hopes up, writing, "Don't lose hope because the investigation is over. That just means CPS has nothing more to investigate." Kiwi Farm user Saul Goodman expanded on this.
Saul
He
Goodman. Nice.
Perhaps Katsu Kitty has it pretty much exactly
That's
right.
not what Saul sounds like.
CPS is not a law enforcement agency. Their investigation was just to make sure it's safe. Given that sick Nick isn't allowed near her, no further action was needed.
If they could have
from their end.
gotten somebody that sounded just like Bob Odenkirk's Saul Goodman, that would be amazing. That would have been incredible internet moment right there. Oh well. A man can dream, a man can wish, and a man can hope.
Remember Saul Goodman. He is a legend in this thread. And then came another huge bomb in the story of Nick Poop Bate. On April 30th, 2015, an article from Lancaster Online dropped, titled, "Columbia Man Charged with Child Sex Crimes from 2009. Let's read the article. A Columbia man is charged with sex crimes allegedly committed against a child 6 years ago. Nicholas B. Stotzenberger, 23, was charged Wednesday with 1 count of involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a child and 3 counts of indecent assault of a child. The alleged sex assaults occurred in Washington Borough in 2009 to 2010 when the female victim was between 5 and 7 years old, according to the Manor Township Police. Stotzenberger was arraigned before District Judge Joshua Keller and sent to Lancaster County Prison in lieu of a $150,000 bail. The internet erupted into cheers, and this is not the last good news in this horrendous story. The docket was soon posted.
The heroic
announcing the
music.
charges: involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a child, and 3 counts of indecent assault of a person less than 13 years of age. The next date in the court case was set May 4th, 2015, and the news made the front page of the popular site, Kiwi Farms. Not only that, confetti was exploding all over the site's interface to celebrate. The next updates came on May 2nd. His preliminary was scheduled 9 a.m. on May 4th. The next day, it was discovered that Nick did not request a public defender, which meant he would be defending himself. Thinking about how he attempted to defend himself to the detective with his video, this did not seem like a good idea.
Not only did it not seem like a good idea, but hi, Josh here, criminal extraordinaire. I do have a felony. I also have a DUI. And I gotta say, man, in a courtroom, doesn't matter what you're going through. It doesn't matter, even in this guy's case where, yes, it doesn't bode well for him that his own defense of himself when being investigated was to send the detective a video of him masturbating with shit out of the toilet. You know, clearly this is a bad sign for his ability to defend himself with any sort of grace or any sort of facts or anything that a courtroom would take seriously. But any legal professional and anybody in any courtroom, the courtroom itself, if you say, I'm going to represent myself, everybody, including the judge, will basically be like, hey, can we have a word with you? Like, you're probably fucked anyway, but like, you're super fucked if you don't get at least a public defender. Like, at least a public defender. Defending yourself, representing yourself in a court case, in a criminal court hearing, horrible, horrible, horrible idea. Because, like, it's kind of like when you buy a new car and you drive it off the lot and it immediately loses value, your defense immediately loses value. The moment that I'm watching a documentary about like this crazy guy right now, Lil Mite, but when you when you try to defend yourself in court, like your defense becomes immediately less valuable to the court if you represent yourself. This guy is in trouble for molesting his little sister. It's Nick Bate Story, the grossest man on the internet, a video on YouTube. But just a crazy story, man. This game is Risk of Rain 2. You collect items, you kill enemies, you buy items, and then you fucking you kill more enemies and buy more items, and you become stronger, and you could stack items infinitely. So I can stack a whole bunch of like crazy movement speed items and then just zip around the map super fast. But anyway, I'm going to continue the video.
And interestingly enough, Saul Goodman, the user I've mentioned before, announced he would attend the preliminary, which was to take place in a tiny, trailer-looking building. And on the date of the hearing, Saul posted to the forum,
Operation Shit Eater, Part 1, The Phantom Court Date. I'm writing this update from the parking lot outside the Millersville Magisterial District Court, which, like a lot of magistrate first-level courts in the rural US, is not all that imposing. This one is in a double-wide trailer surrounded by a beautiful dandelion-strewn meadow, and somewhat incongruously, a couple rusting truck trailers. I've been in the business long enough to know that at places like this, you should really call ahead. But in my defense, my decision to undertake this mission was only made late last night. The upshot is that there was no hearing. They put that date in as a placeholder, while they tried to find someone in this bovine-besotted wonderland to defend sick Nick. This is not because no one in the public defender's office wants the job. It's just how things often work in places like this. Slowly. The clerk will notify me when the actual date is set. So at the end of the day, Nick is still in jail. Nothing really happened, and I lost multiple hours of sleep to drive through miles upon miles of manure-scented highway. Although, if I'm to be fair to the cows, it might merely have been the stench wafting across from the Lancaster County Jail.
Very elegantly
Stay tuned
put.
for part 2.
and then concluded,
Just to clarify, the public defender's office hasn't gotten him a lawyer yet, so the hearing was entirely cancelled. Nobody there but the judge, a couple clerks, and a Mexican dude contesting a traffic ticket.
And with the growing popularity of the story, internet cool guy Mr. Mediker made a video about Nick on May 6th. The video went over the chat logs and told the story in a short fashion of what happened so far. The main theme of the video was that Nick had been openly admitting to his crimes for years, and it was so obvious he was guilty.
So I say to you, the viewer, what do you think? We have Nick Bates, a man who has openly expressed on the internet that he is in fact a who has openly admitted that he's had sexual conversations with his half-sister, who was a preteen at the time, who admitted to a woman he was in love with that he had engaged in sexual activities with that minor. He's written songs expressing his desire to rape and have sex with children.
Jesus Christ.
I think when you add all these things up, it's pretty clear that he is guilty.
News of Nick's arrest reached further than the Lancaster County headlines and made it to network television. The next news in the trial came on May 13th. Nick got a public defender. And not only that, Maddie, the original leaker of Nick into the lolcow sphere, appeared in the thread to answer questions. She admitted she wanted to make Nick a lolcow by posting him to 789chan, and also admitted it was partially because she wanted attention. And after a bit of a reunion and a trip down memory lane between Maddie and Anna, a new announcement was made. On May 15th, the preliminary hearing date was set to the next.
The video is a documentary. We're actually towards the end. You missed most of it. But dude's in a lot of trouble. He's like some disgusting guy on the internet who's like attracted to children, and he's like doesn't bathe, he doesn't brush his teeth, he doesn't believe in it. He smears poop all over his walls. Like he's a fucking absolute lunatic.
next day. But after that, there wasn't much news about the preliminary
And at this point in the story,
hearing,
he's getting
nothing interesting
convicted.
happened for a month. But eventually, the next court date was set for June 16th, 2015. Saul Goodman arrived to the scene again to investigate for the farms, writing in a post,
Operation Shit Eater, Part 2, Shit Gets Real. I called ahead and confirmed that the hearing is going ahead as scheduled. This time, coming from at Mrs. Goodman's place, the drive took me through miles of nothing but cornfields and cow pastures. Despite some heavy rain, I got here before Nick, so I will have pictures of both him and the party van .tm when it arrives. Stay tuned.
and there he would post the first sighting since he was arrested. Saul posted a picture of Nick, looking hairy and overweight, as he exited the police vehicle into the court.
Dude on the fucking Kiwi Farms drove like partway across the country so that he can come like witness Nick and like take pictures of him getting arrested because they wanted it to happen so badly. They were like they wanted justice so badly. What a legend. What a hero. Fucking Jesus Christ.
Courthouse. Everyone was so excited to see the first glimpse of Nick since being arrested. Sure, there were forms and dockets and news articles, but they weren't as tangible as...
Little Mite, are you a bot right now? What? Sounds like it sucks. What sounds like it sucks? The video or the game? The game is awesome. I love this game. I've put like 400 hours into this game.
Seeing Nick adorned in the bright orange jumper. The memes poured out. And Anonymous posted another update, same day. Formal arraignment was scheduled for July 10th, 2015 at 9 a.m. And after this announcement, Saul posted again, telling the farms he made it to the hearing and was going to drop a doozy of a report of the events of the day when he got home. Upon arriving home, the first thing Saul Goodman posted was video footage of Nick exiting the police vehicle.
Oh, what a
You thought the
legend.
pictures excited the internet dwellers? The video was even more satisfying. And then Saul posted an absolute gem. It was in multiple posts. There was no video footage inside the courthouse as the events occurred, but the report this farmer posted made it feel as if you were in the room. Let me read it in full for you listeners. His first post came from June 2015.
In the court now, so can't take pictures. Nick's B-mom and aunt are both here in support. They're discussing his health insurance and poring over a power of attorney document whose purpose I couldn't ascertain. B-mom also remarked upon her support for Donald Trump's nascent presidential bid. He never really had a chance, did he? Update: A's dad is also here, sitting next to B-mom, who now seems conflicted as she is quote-unquote related to both parties. Update 2. In such a small place, you hear everything. Apparently, the defense Atty is going to make A testify at a preliminary hearing, so A's dad is off to get her. This probably means the hearing will be closed. Whatever humor there was to be found here has just evaporated. More updates as they become available.
The next update came that same day and read,
This is rural PA, and to answer your earlier question that this is not the main county courthouse, it's the magistrate first level court where things like traffic tickets and arraignments, preliminary hearings.
There you go, I'm dead.
Also, my phone's about to die, so further updates will have to wait. However, before I depart, I should share the following exchange I had with the court clerk. Her: Are you a journalist? Me: Yes. Her: With what paper? Me: The Kiwi Farms. We're a website that documents the activities of, eccentric individuals on the internet. Her: Eccentric. Pauses clearly, thinking about sick Nick. I see.
and then he updated again the same day.
Update: I got to attend the hearing. I will make a full report, although sensitive details will have to be redacted.
Oh my god. So, wait. So they asked him, they were like, why are you here? And he's just like, oh, I'm from a website called Kiwi Farms. And they're like, what the fuck is a Kiwi farm? And the dude's just like, oh, it's just, we like to document and pay attention to eccentric individuals on the internet. And like, they mulled it over and decided, sure, why not? Come on in. Come on in. Let's all like make a spectacle out of this guy. Yeah, fuck this guy, you know?
For now, however, let me just say that I got to talk to the detective, the one who received the email. She basically is Olivia Benson in real life, straight from Central Casting. Tall and attractive with a dry sense of humor, but also quite the no-nonsense authority figure. Whatever they're paying her can't possibly be enough. I'll have a full report later, but for now I'll leave you, dear readers, with this tidbit. She did not know about the farms prior to today. She did know about ED. Now she does, as do several other law enforcement officials who were present. P.S. Have video of sick Nick trudging back to the party van. We'll post later.
And then finally, he posted the big write-up. Same day as all of this. This is long, so just listen.
Operation Shit-Eater Part 2, Bravo. Goes to trial. Since there seems to be some confusion, my recap will begin with some spurging about how a preliminary hearing works in Pennsylvania and other similar states. A preliminary hearing is not a trial, it is merely a check/balance to make sure that the prosecution can't bring unfounded charges. The standard for a preliminary hearing is that in order to go to a formal arraignment at the main county courthouse, the prosecution must show under Pennsylvania law that there is a prima facie case that 1. An offense has been committed and 2. The defendant has committed it. A prima facie case, on its face in Latin, means that the state can show the court sufficient evidence that if this evidence is accepted as true, i.e. viewed on its face, the court can conclude that a crime has been committed and the defendant probably committed it. This is not about quote-unquote reasonable doubt or gathering evidence that happens during the discovery phase of a trial or arguing the merits of the case. It is once again merely a check on the prosecution's power to charge people incorrectly /
Alright, I mean, I know what a preliminary hearing is. Hey, what's up, David Lang? Dang. What up, man? I'm just playing some Risk of Rain and I'm watching a video about a crazy pedophile guy who got arrested. A Horrorcow, different from a lolcow. He's scary. He's a spooky guy. But that's what up. What up with you, Dang? And right now, all I was we're at the point in the story. We're pretty late in the video. It's a 2-hour-long video. I'm almost done, actually. Where the guy's like, "Man, it's a work night. After this, I'm getting off and going to bed." But so like, it's just a whole bunch of like courtroom jargon. The guy's basically explaining to people what a preliminary hearing is, and I'm just like, I know about that. I know a thing or two about that.
Unfairly, they have to show that they have some evidence that, if it is accepted as true, would sustain
this
the charges.
Game does hold up. This game does not suck, Lil Mite. This game is great. You missed the run where I became an unkillable god. You know, it starts off slow, but you get a lot of items, and then you get to like do some crazy shit.
Obviously, if the prosecution cannot produce such evidence, it would be inappropriate for the judge to send the case to trial. I mention this background because it is useful in understanding what happened today.
Can't you not even play
this,
PT
keep in
anymore?
mind that while the defense has a right to call witnesses and cross-examine the state's witnesses, it can only do so to negate the state's case, i.e. show that even if you accept the state's evidence as true, it doesn't sufficiently show that the defendant committed the crime. Again, this is not a time for the defense to do discovery or question the credibility of witnesses for the purposes of a preliminary hearing. Their testimony is accepted as true. Accordingly, the fact that the hearing went the way it did
just die
tells
already.
us a lot about the defense strategy. By making the victim testify and pushing her as hard as they can, more on this below, they are sending a message that they're going to go after this innocent 12-year-old girl if the case doesn't plead out. My last update left off with me sitting next to the stepdad, aunt, and mum, with stepdad going off to pick AO up from her friend's house because she had suddenly been called to testify. The three adults do, as several posters have surmised.
Do you get to fly in this game? Yeah, kinda. If you get a bunch of hoppo feathers that give you an extra jump. So like, most characters just get one jump, and then you can get one of those feathers. It gives you an extra jump, but then you can just like stack it over and over, and then you can just... there is also an item that does let you fly, but it's a use item, and it's only temporary. Dang, play Clock Tower. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is Clock Tower?
seemed like stereotypical folk. The father, a balding, weathered man in clothes that suggested a physically strenuous occupation, seemed to be genuinely overwhelmed. He commented to me that, quote, "I've never been to a place like this before." I assumed he meant to a courthouse for a criminal proceeding. I replied that I hadn't either. This was indeed the first time I'd been to a magistrate's court in an actual trailer, although I've been to several that were similarly unimposing. B-Mum and Aunt were genuinely kind and gentle people, not the horrible, intolerant rednecks that everyone seems to think. B-Mum even gave me the pen and paper that I used to take notes on the hearing after I was a typical spurg and forgot mine in the car. And this was after she knew I was a blogger/online reporter. And heaven knows the internet has not been kind to her son.
Look, we're almost...
That said, she and the aunt are simple folk. The aunt shares the Stoutzenberger.
We're almost to the end of the video, and the end of the video is going to be the end of my stream. So I don't think I want to switch games. Also, it's my stream. I'll play what I want to play. No offense, but I will play what I want to play. And right now, this is like a very nice casual game. Now, Subnautica is also a casual game. I can watch a video in the background too. But like, right now, this is kind of my jam. So that's where we're at with that one, Lil Mite.
Family teeth, but B-Mum seems in surprisingly good shape for her age, and
I don't like Risk of Rain 1 that much.
That Nick is innocent.
That game sucks. No, I'm just
how
kidding.
All the news reports have been, quote, filled
I've been
with
streaming for 2 hours now, 2 hours and 7 minutes.
Optimistic. B-Mum concurred and said she had turned everything off for a few weeks and wanted to hear more positive stories on the news, given that the father, mother, and AO are still living together. I can only imagine what this state of affairs is doing to the family dynamic. The hearing itself was relatively short, with only 2 witnesses called. The second was the detective, TD, but all she was there to do was the usual, "Yep, I arrested him," and on these charges. She wasn't cross-examined. The victim's testimony, however, was unnerving, even for someone like me who spent a significant amount
thanks,
of time
Dave.
working
You always
in
look
courtrooms.
good.
Also, I remarked about TD earlier, almost everyone there looked as if they came straight from central casting. The prosecutor was a
That's fine, man. I hope you have a good night. Watch this VOD. Some of my takes and reactions are pretty good, I think.
I think gentleman who
if I had to guess,
oozed with good old boy.
You missed the most interesting parts of this video.
And as you can see from the perp walk, the constable was a total badass.
Because now we're getting
Why
justice.
did he rock those shades? The victim's direct examination was relatively straightforward. She told everyone who she was, who Nick was, and what had happened. Out of respect for her, I won't go into details, but I will say that the things she described were brutal and disgusting to a degree far beyond what has previously been reported, and that her testimony was both assured and utterly convincing, which made having to listen to it all the more horrible. However, in the middle of her direct, the Sleazy Defense Counsel, SDC, started in with what I consider to be an inappropriate gamesmanship. He interrupted and asked AO directly to speak up. It was a small room, I was at the back of it, and I heard her just fine. I realized better than most that every defendant is entitled to a zealous and competent defense. I think that's a good thing, a wonderful thing even, about our society. And sometimes a zealous defense means callously working to discredit an innocent 12-year-old girl. But it does not mean actively doing things that, at least from my perspective, serve no purpose other than intimidating her. The prosecutor, while generally excellent, which is not surprising, these days you have to have superb credentials to get any prosecutor's job straight out of law school, unfortunately played into this a little bit, in my opinion, by asking questions.
Dude, this guy's a legend.
Necessary to make her
He's just a Kiwi farmer, man. He just went all the way across the country to say
when you say
this.
You sucked it, what do you mean by that? But it was on cross-examination that SDC got significantly out of line. He began by making her repeat/confirm pretty much everything she said on direct, and then kept pressing her to be more specific on dates, times, logistical details, including such things as exactly how Nick pulled the victim's shirt up. The prosecutor objected, and her objectives were sustained on 3 different occasions that SDC's questions constituted a quote-unquote fishing, in which he was trying to discredit AO and try the case on the merits rather than contest the Commonwealth's prima facie case that a crime had occurred and that Nick had committed it. Obviously, after the victim's testimony, the judge found that
why
the
did I buy
Commonwealth
two used items?
had met its prima
Fucking
facie
idiot.
burden and sent the case over to the Lancaster County Court of Common Pleas for a formal arraignment/trial. After the hearing, TD, the prosecutor, the bailiff, and the constable were chatting, and TD called me over and asked about my accent. After chatting for a bit, I asked if I could ask her a question in return.
If you're still here,
So,
Dave, what
were
are you
the
doing
one
here?
who
Shouldn't you
got
be
the
playing
video?
Total War with
She
the
replied
boys?
that she was, but that Nick didn't actually attach it to the
The
email.
boys are
but
all playing
rather,
Total
quote-unquote,
War.
threatened her wording to send it to her. She remarked that she had found it on ED in the course of her research, and while smiling ever so slightly, informed me
I
that
feel it.
quote-unquote several of her colleagues have seen it. She asked where she could read more, so I gave her the web address. If you're reading this,
Yeah, me too.
detective,
That's
please
why
allow me
after
to
this
second
video, I'm off.
everybody else here in commending you for your work. You put in a ton of effort and waded through a ton of muck and filth, both literally and figuratively, to help make the world a better and safer place. And
for what you missed, this guy has like he like molested his little sister, and he has like a poop fetish, and he's doesn't bathe, he doesn't brush his teeth, he doesn't go to the dentist because he thinks they'll slit his throat or something. He's just a fucking disgusting animal of a person. This Nick Bate guy.
Anyway, the long and short of it is that A, Sick Nick is going to be in prison for a long time at the end of this. B, a bunch of people in Lancaster County now know, or shortly will know, about the farms. And C, AO is tough as nails. After dealing with what must be an utterly insane home life, even apart from this case, she seems remarkably well adjusted. It's a real tragedy that she has to go through this. I'll answer more questions later, but for now it's time to distract myself with CGI dinosaurs. It's been a sincerely exhausting day. Good night, everybody.
Fuck
It
you,
seemed
Google Chrome
likely
protection.
Sick Nick would spend the rest of his life behind bars. Not only that, Kiwi farmers were discussing sending the underage sister a present of congratulations. Days pass, and on June 26th, it was discovered Nick's case was transferred to the Court of Common Pleas. Not sure what that meant. I cannot find an archive of this docket update, so I cannot see what date it was scheduled for at this time. July came, and the next date was coming, July 10th. July 10th would be Nick's formal arraignment. In July, multiple Kiwi farmers planned a trip to Lancaster to attend the trial. Saul Goodman was not one of those this time, though. July 10th came, and the dwellers of internet space
up
were
there.
eagerly awaiting an outcome. Toasty, a user on this day from the field, wrote, "Okay, no Sick Nick for us today. Kind of relieved, not sure how I could handle seeing AO put through anything." It turned out, according to Toasty, that it was waived, meaning Nick didn't have to be there that day, and the case was now going to trial. It wasn't an epic adventure like Saul Goodman got previously. The next change came on July 20th. These were the updates. New court date on docket. Changes. Formal arraignment for July 10th, 2015, 9 a.m., courtroom A, canceled. Status conference, August 24th, 2015, 1:30 p.m., courtroom, to be decided, scheduled. The next date was August 24th, 2015. Nothing much happened between July and the end of August, and then the new date arrived. Nobody was there for the August 24th, and there was no big change in the case on the day. After this, followers found an inmate number for him, but not much else. This only confirmed he was still in custody, and then a new date appeared on the docket, October 5th at 1:30 p.m. for a criminal pretrial. People speculated what would happen at this date, but what this meant was Nick would spend his 24th birthday in jail. That was an optimistic thing to think about. The overlord of Kiwi Farms celebrated this fact with a banner on the top of the site that read, "Reminder that Nick Bate is still in jail. Happy birthday, LOL." While they waited for the next event, multiple people considered writing Nick a letter. One person was Maddie, who ultimately decided not to. The next court event came, and no one attended, but someone called the jail the next day, October 6th, and found out that the case had been placed on the trial schedule, but no dates had been assigned yet. It was back to the waiting game. On October 12th, people saw that Nick no longer had an inmate number and began to panic he made bail. But this was a frivolous worry, and Nick remained incarcerated. And then there was an update on the docket. The next court case was January 19th, 2016. Was something going to happen? Are we approaching the end of the story? Well, stay tuned. The forums actually had someone planning to go to this one, by the name of Marvin. Marvin volunteered on December 14th to be the reporter. He expressed how excited he was to make Lolcow history. 2015 ended, and the internet eagerly followed into 2016 to see if Nick's little sister would get her justice. 2016.
Yeah, get them bops
With the
in
new
there.
year coming, a new thread was started to count down to the Judgment Day. The thread was started January 15th, 2016. As they waited, people theorized that the other trials were to determine if there was enough evidence to go further, and this led people not to be hopeful for the outcome. There were 2 days of court, January 19th and the 20th, and Marvin decided to attend the 20th trial. After the 19th, Nick's bail was changed from $150,000 to $500,000. Hope and anticipation were bubbling inside the hearts of the followers. It's rare a story of abuse and victimization has a happy ending. People get away with horrendous acts all the time. Children,
Look at that
animals, and more become victim to someone abusing their power, often with no repercussions. It is an unfair world. Much like the previous epic report from Saul Goodman, Marvin posted an elaborate tale of the court hearing to let readers feel as if they were actually there. Let me read this for you listeners. Just
Thank
put
you.
yourself in the shoes. It is 2016.
The other guy
You've
was
been
great,
watching
but a
a
little
psycho
too
run
monotone.
around on the internet for 5 years, bragging about being a and harassing women. You find out he horribly molested a little girl for years. You've seen some literally, and you just want to see a burn. Now let's read this. Okay, so interesting trial today. Huge wall of text coming. If you want the end result, just skip to the bottom of my post. This took place at the Lancaster County Courthouse. So the floor that the courtroom took place in didn't allow any photography. Like, so you can't catch a picture of someone coming out of the courtroom. You have to hang around the exits of the building, or maybe in the lobby, and catch a picture of them there. Well, either way, they brought Nick in through a special door in the courtroom anyway. So, I don't know if I could have encountered him anyway. When I got into the courtroom, I talked to the detective a bit. She talked to whoever went to the earlier hearing, so she was expecting me, I think. I overhear that the prosecution is going to be having 4 people testifying, and the defense is going to have 2 people testifying. The prosecution also mentioned having a YouTube video, but I didn't get the details on that. Nick Bate gets marched in wearing a yellow jumpsuit and Crocs. He's looking pretty skinny. Also, I thought his hair looked kind of thinning on the top. He had kind of a Charles Manson look to him, you know? So then the trial gets going. First, AO testifies. First, the judge asks if there's any opposition to her testifying because she's under 14. No one objects. Both the defense and the prosecution question AO about the detailed specifics of the allegations. Defense tries a bit harder, I think. The defense seems to be trying to get AO to say that she didn't immediately report molestation to her father, but she just mentioned some weird behavior on Nick's part that her father just inflated. At some point, the defense asks very specifically if AO was being coached. Next, the prosecution puts the cop on the stand. Nothing much of interest is said. Then they put a social worker or someone in a similar position on the stand. I think she just commented on physical evidence. Also, by the way, during the whole thing, it seemed that Nick Bate was shaking, kind of like sustained shivering. Later, I figured it was because he was jiggling his leg, but I don't know. It seemed to be pretty vigorous leg shaking. He was pretty nervous. Next, they put the detective on the stand. They entered some chat logs between Nick and Anna into evidence. I think you guys know which logs these were, the ones where he explicitly admitted to these crimes. They read the chats out loud in the courtroom.
From so long
the
ago,
boots
too,
included.
like 2008.
Next, they put AO's mother on the stand. She defended Nick in really bizarre ways. She said that her husband had never liked Nick from the beginning. She said that he was kicked out of the house in 6th grade. She made a few statements about how after he was kicked out, he was never in the house. Oh, except for Christmas. But he was never ever alone with AO. Under questioning, she admitted that she worked. AO was home alone sometimes. Nick was within walking distance during those times, and easily could have been over at the house. Then the prosecutor mentioned that she might have a video of Nick and AO at a birthday pool party that would have been around the time that these crimes were committed. This really didn't faze AO's mother. After all this, the prosecutor asked AO's mother if someone said AO was alone with Nick at one point, would they be lying? She answered yes, without batting an eye. Then the
Hey, you
defense
have a
just
good
went
night,
and
Dave.
rehashed
I hope
all
you
of
sleep
AO's
well.
mother's claim
All
to
right.
her.
Hope
Was
that
Nick
you're
ever left alone with AO?
Hope that your break from Total War tonight will give you the sleep that you need. Get the Z's that you need. Capital Z's. Catch those capital Z's. We don't want to see no lowercase z's around here.
No, etc. The prosecutor asks, do you love your son? Yes. The defense asks, do you love your daughter? Yes. Fair enough. Next, Nick himself is on the stand. He speaks more coherently than I expected. He claims he made up the molestation story in the chat log. He says that all the Nick parts are legitimately his writing, but that some of the Anna parts were admitted. He also brings up internet harassment and claims he was hacked, and that's how the log was leaked. His excuse about the molestation story is that Anna was telling him about a sex encounter she had. He didn't want to be left out, so he says he made up his own sex story, but no one would believe he banged an adult. So, the logical option is child molestation. After that, Nick admitted to be a pedophile in court, as well as a coprophile. Contradicting what his mother said, Nick said he visited AO for Christmas, Thanksgiving, and birthday parties. After that, Nick admitted part of the earlier claim was that before one of the incidents, AO and Nick were in AO's bedroom, and they had just finished playing Wii, or a board game or something. Nick's mother claimed that they never had the Wii in AO's home. It was always on the downstairs TV. Nick also contradicted that. One question literally asked of sick Nick was, do you enjoy butts or feces, Mr. Stotzenberger? Yes, of course. Nick's lawyer is pretty much setting up the, but I really like poop defense to show that the chat log was fake. Closing arguments. The defense basically argued that lots of people are giving varying stories about the same events. AO can't keep her story straight. Also, AO's father really hated Nick, so he was trying to manipulate AO into getting him arrested for pedophilia. Also, Nick lives in cyberspace, so he's just indulging in his weird edgelord fantasies online. At one point, the words were pretty similar to, why would he say he wouldn't lick a butthole? As we know, he's a coprophile. He'd love it. I don't think they were exactly that, but that sounds pretty close. It at least shares a few phrases in common. The defense was literally using the if he likes you must acquit defense. The prosecution said that AO's stories weren't inconsistent. She remembered important details. She obviously didn't remember the miscellaneous details, like what clothing he was wearing or what they were doing beforehand. Also, the Anna chat matches what AO claimed very closely. AO's mother's testimony is worthless, and very importantly, it's not like Nick is denying that he'd want to molest a child. He's just saying he didn't do it at the time. Verdict: involuntary deviant sexual intercourse with a child? Guilty. Indecent assault of person less than 13 years of age? Guilty.
Nice.
The docket lists 4 charges, and I only remember hearing 3 charges announced, so I don't know if I missed something or what. Later on, Marvin updated about one of the charges being missing writing. Okay, so I've been distracted because I've been out of the country for days. Haven't had much time to post here. Anyway, so I spoke with the detective and got some details on the missing charge. She said that the victim didn't testify completely about one of the charges at the preliminary hearing, so that missing charge got dropped. It's a minor issue, I just wanted to document it here. User Segoy-chan also added in details because they had visited too. They write, I got there late, just after morning recess, so I couldn't actually get into the courtroom until after they broke for lunch. I was there for closing arguments and the verdict. The judge took about an hour to deliberate. It was a bench trial, not jury trial. After reading his verdict, the judge walked Nick through what happens next, including his appeal options and timeline. I do believe this is what the addition to the docket that @anonymous linked above. The Commonwealth introduced a motion for a violent sex offender test to be conducted on Nick. Also, AO and her father were there for the verdict, as was his mother. The father let out a small yes upon the announcement. I did not see AO's reaction, but I imagine it's complicated for someone so young to see her half-brother go away. Nick seemed to not react when the verdict was called. but he did look at his mother long as they walked him away. Nick Bate is going to prison for a long time, everyone. Sugoi also included the detail that AO and her father sat as far away from Nick's mom as you could get while in the observer seating, and didn't stay nearby during the recesses as she did. They bolted as soon as court was adjourned. They were the first ones out the door and were at the elevator before Nick's mom left the courtroom. They concluded, "We'll never know for sure, but I think those actions speak a lot about the state of their relationship." Null immediately responded to the results with
owned.
Confetti was soon added all over Kiwi Farms. It was such a joyous day. On January 20th, it was reported Anna was told of the conviction and was extremely happy because of it. Even more hopeful, people looked into what he was convicted of, and it seemed that he was hopefully going away for a long time.
You
There
post
to be
the
another
Harlem
court date
Shake, what
that
a
was
callback.
for giving Nick the time he was sentenced to. Nick got a new mugshot taken, and it was revealed in a news article the day after he was found guilty. The article included new details, writing, Lancaster, PA, a Columbia man was convicted Wednesday of sexually abusing a child, according to the Lancaster County District Attorney's Office. Prosecutors presented a transcript of an online chat Stautzenberger had with another individual regarding the abuse during his trial. Stautzenberger is expected to be sentenced in about 3 months, following a background check and psychological assessment regarding his risk to reoffend. People who were excited about the incarceration of Nick posted, including Maddie. Now it's time to wait for the sentencing hearing. It seemed finally a villain got punishment in the real world. And it gets better. It really does feel like a comic book story, except instead of masked villains and heroes, it's a disgusting, filthy pedophile getting justice. So, we are approaching the end, the finale. The pre-sentence investigation was reported sometime around February or March, and it was still a waiting game. While everyone awaited the sentencing, Anna posted something bizarre on March 10th. Nick sent her a letter. She did not read it and instead sent it to the DA in case she wants to find a way to keep Nick away from her. She did not post the contents of the letter online. Smart girl. Null then decided he wanted to send a letter to Nick, but Anna was so against it and scared. Null didn't like Anna after this. LOL. This was a letter Null wanted to send to Nick.
Hi, Nick. I hope you're holding up well enough. I have heard you're able to write again, which must be nice. Seeing something from you after these months of silence was a shock. This situation is surreal. You don't expect things in life to change so drastically after years of staying the same, and then they do. Against my wishes, I feel a great amount of sympathy for you. I wouldn't really wish what you're going to face on anyone. I don't believe in America's blood sport of a penitentiary system. Regardless, short of divine intervention, I don't think there's much hope for you in the upcoming sentencing. I'm not even sure what you could hope for at this point. I don't know if your letter to Maddie will be read, and if it is, who will be reading it. I'm personally curious to hear what you have to say. If you reply to me, I will publish what you write online, so consider this your chance to reach out to a large audience. It's a privilege you won't have very often anymore. Good luck. Joshua Connor Moon.
And just to be clear, he was being nice to try to get information from Nick. After Anna begged him not to, Null updated it to read,
Julie, get ready. Lol.
The sentencing hearing was finally scheduled for April 25th, 2016. No one attended the hearing from the farms, but the day after, Ann Ominous posted to the thread some great news. I just got off the phone with the clerk of courts for Lancaster County. Nick was sentenced to 40 years, the maximum for his crime, and is eligible for parole in 16 and a half years. Pop the bubbly. Nick would most likely not get out until he was in his 60s. It's time to celebrate. Kiwi Farms celebrated by making the news the front page of the site. Lancaster Online reported it as soon as the news came out. It was such a joyous day. So many other news programs came out to announce this. The best part is under the Facebook post of the Fox 43 news post, people were wishing the worst to happen to Nick, as he deserves. Everyone hates people who harm children. It said that pedophiles get treated the worst in prison, because even among criminals, there is a code of ethics. Nick remains in prison to this day. His inmate information got updated in June of the year he was committed. Nick looked worse than ever in this photo.
My God.
Matted hair and dreads, unshaven beard, empty eyes, and thinner than his usual corpulent self. He looked to be haunted, which was satisfying, I'm not going to lie. On August 1st of 2016, Null actually sent the letter. This was the letter he sent to Nick.
Hi, Nick. I'm writing on behalf of the forum. This letter was discouraged by everyone I talked to, but I'm sending it anyways because I feel like it. This should go without saying. Everybody in every community that has heard of you believes you are guilty, as apparently did the state of Pennsylvania and her people. Just want to make it absolutely clear that this is not being written as a way to allow you to vindicate yourself. I'm just saying hello and allowing you to write expressively to someone who read what you have to say, someone who isn't your appointed lawyer. If you choose to reply, I would like to know 3 things. 1. How are you holding up? 2. Do you regret your online presence? 3. If you could go back in time and change one thing, what would it be and why? I should add that I will not be delivering your response to any person in particular, especially if by request. This is a personal correspondence. Kind regards, Josh.
That's
P.S.
me.
Please don't use the word abood.
To my knowledge,
Please
Nick
don't use
never
the word
responded.
abood.
Nick tried to appeal a sentence in 2017 and 2018. Both were denied, and Nick sits there to this day. 16 years from his sentence date is 10 years from now, I believe, 2032. There was a photo that was released rather recently, within the past couple years, of what he looked like in prison. He looked clean shaven and like he had showered. He looked completely normal, which felt very inappropriate knowing what kind of person he is. And hopefully his appeals will continue to be rejected, and hopefully he will remain there. Conclusion. Prison is supposed to be for reform, but it is doubtful Nick can be reformed. For 7 years, up until he was put into prison, he defended harm to children and pedophilia, claiming it was a sexuality. He took no responsibility for his behavior, and instead reveled in his own disgustingness. Nick is not human. He is the embodiment of everything a normal person should hate in the world. He's smelly, he's filthy, he's a child abuser, a woman abuser, an animal abuser. He hits almost every check on the list for things society should not allow. If society wants to function, people like Nick should not exist. But back to the thesis of this video. For years, Nick claimed to be attracted
that
to
picture,
children.
he looks like a teenage amazing atheist.
And have done actions toward children. People were hopeful that
Hi everybody, this is TJ Kirk.
he was just trolling. But as I said in the beginning, when someone tells you who they are, believe them. But I hope Ayo feels safer now that Nick is locked up. And it is amazing. He can't hurt anyone else. So let's enjoy that. But remember, when going online, sometimes it's best not to give someone the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes you have to do what's best for you and not try to be nice to someone in fear of hurting their feelings. It's beneficial to not just be trusting online. Make sure your kids know that. I'm sure Anna wished that she had never been nice to Nick after he scared her the first time. Well, that's the end. What do you think? Do you think Nick can be reformed? I don't, but let me know in the comments.
No.
In conclusion, get f***ed pet. So before we get into the Patreon credit roll, let's thank our voice actors. Let's see. We have Turk February,
All right,
Coyote
all right,
Lovely,
all right.
Salvo Pancakes, XX, Irate
Yeah,
Alex,
good job all these people. Good
and Toad
job.
McKinley. Dr. Maya Anderson
Whoa.
once said, when people
If you press
show
0,
who
it
they
restarts
are,
it.
with another YouTube upload type
What?
that a resident
By asking
That's crazy.
questions
You
that
could press
weren't
different numbers on the
necessary to make
keypad and on the number pad.
stories weren't inconsistent. She remembered important
Does it
details.
split it up into tenths?
She obviously didn't remember the miscellaneous details, like what clothing form content on internet lore. Please consider becoming a patron. I only charge when I make long-form videos, so it's like maybe 4 payments a year. Maybe. I'd especially like to thank my $20 and over patrons. $20 and over. I know, we did this. Chat. I'll see you next.
I need to cheer myself up. I'm feeling so down. Where's my silver at?
Love this channel. Good channel. Good channel. I'm about it. Anyway, I've been on for 2.5 hours. It's a work night, so I guess that's a wrap, baby boys. That's a wrap. Oh. Hope planet Earth has a good night tonight. Peace out, and I'll see you next time. Oh, I clicked exit the desktop as if that's going to just end my stream.